Hey guys, what's up? It's me, T1Dubs here, and if you guys are new to this channel, I make what if videos. This is a full story, which means it is a long compilation of videos that I've made for a long time, and that's what you're going to be watching today. So if my voice sounds different between different sections, that'll be why. I hope you can still enjoy it and see the progress that I've made over the years. This series is over 3 years old, and I finally finished it today. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, happy binging.
What's up, everybody? It's me, That Weeb here, back with another episode of a brand new What If that I think you guys hopefully will enjoy. This is another mix-up What If. I hope you guys like this one, though, as my other combined What If of What If Naruto Dragon Ball World isn't really doing so good. Unfortunately, if you guys like that, what I'm doing with there, please go and share the video and watch it and make sure to like that so that I know that you guys want me to continue with that. If not, then I hope you guys can enjoy this one, which I think will be very interesting, and I hope you guys like it. So let's get into the first part for part one of What If Naruto Had One for All. So first things first, let's get into how this is exactly going to work. Basically, what I'm doing is Minato Namikaze, the Namikaze clan will actually have a Kikagenkai that passes on the strength from the previous generation when they die. So let's say that Minato's father was a ninja during the Third Great Ninja War. When he dies, that their family Kikagenkai would pass on to their next of kin, which would be Minato, genetically. As his father dies, his chakra leaves the world and becomes natural energy again. Minato would then have his Kikagenkai finally unlocked afterwards, and at that point he would then have the power access to him from all the past members who have held it from his clan. So basically, it's one for all is a Kikagenkai in this timeline, and the way it's going to work is that because Naruto doesn't inherit the Uzumaki Kikagenkai, he will naturally inherit Minato's, the Namikaze clan Kikagenkai. So let's just get into it. I hope you guys like what I'm doing with it. I'm gonna not make it. It's going to have like basically the same effects as One for All. It's not going to have the well, unless you guys want to. Unless you would like to have the no spoilers, but some other quirks from My Hero Academia that One for All has access to be in this. Make sure to comment below if you have any suggestions for me to write anything or make anything specific. Part 1 is usually where I get all that worked out before I write it. But let's get into the story. As Minato's light leaves his eyes after he's worked so hard to protect his wife and son and the village from the QB had finally gotten its revenge of being sealed. As Kushina and Minato die, the light leaves his eyes and something occurs inside of him. He knows that he'll be able to help his son even if he's not there now, as the power that has ran through the Namikaze clan's blood for many generations, making them one of the feared and the most strong and powerful clans, knowing for their power of being a family, pushes it out from him as it enters his son's chakra. Naruto, who as a baby at this time doesn't feel it as Minato had once, but as the electricity and the power of all of their past has finally flowed into Naruto, Minato dies using the Reaper Death Seal and sealing the QB inside of his son. At that point, Minato then passes away as Naruto inherits the Kikagenkai known as One for All. One for All is a Kikagenkai only specific to the Namikaze clan, created many eons ago, that syncs all of their family's chakra together over generations. Usually when a member dies, when a human dies, their chakra returns back into nature energy and returns to the earth, to be absorbed again and reused. However, with this Kikagenkai, what it gives access to is it ties anyone who's blood related to the next holder, and just takes their chakra and relinquishes it of them, and instead of returning it to the earth, it actually gives that access to the wielder. At this point, the One for All ability, One for All, has been held many times, at least over 40 times, so the overall power that it has is pretty incomprehensible. Minato, however, had only been able to access up to 25% at a time, as his body, him being a Namikaze as well, could only hold up so much power at a time that he could access. As Naruto is taken by the Third Hokage, he knows what's happened, and he knows all about the Kikagenkai of his clan. To protect Naruto from ever trying to have anyone ever hurt him and try and end the bloodline of the Namikazes, in order for their Kikagenkai to finally be ended and stopped through history, Naruto is protected by giving him the Uzumaki bloodline name instead. As they clear up the bodies and as well as begin to clean the rest of the village, Naruto is slowly growing up. As Naruto's 3 years old, he's immensely strong. Unknown to him, 1% of One for All from Minato's power himself that had been transferred on had naturally been transferred into Naruto himself. And so when Naruto was a 3-year-old, he was pretty competent. He was about the strength of someone 2 years older than him who was 5, so when anyone tried to ever pick on him or hurt him, he could always fight back, even if he wasn't the strongest. Naruto, as he grows up, realizes that he has some sort of extra power that other people don't have. The third Hokage would sit with him and talk to him about how he has a special Kekkei Genkai, a bloodline limit trait that was only accessible to him, that his parents had left to him. Naruto looks to the stars and he remembers about what the third Hokage had said as he goes into school for the first day as a 6-year-old. As Naruto meets his class for the first time, Naruto in his head is thinking about everything going on and about basically what he's going to eat for dinner, some ramen probably, which sounds delicious to him, as well as how boring today's schedule is going to be, and hopefully everyone there is nice to him. As he gets in, he recognizes some of his previous friends who had played with him before in the park. Shikamaru and Choji are there, and as he waves to them, they laugh and they wave as well, before stopping as Iruka-sensei walks into the room. Naruto goes to take a seat, and as he sits down, he looks over and sees Sasuke Uchiha eyeing him. Sasuke had known that Naruto was going to be one of the stronger members in their class ever since from his father, what his father had told him. His father had told him about the abilities of the previous holder of the Kekkei Genkai that Naruto would possess, known as One for All. Unknown to Naruto, this person named Sasuke Uchiha actually knows about his Kekkei Genkai and is kind of jealous as he wants his Kekkei Genkai, the Sharingan, to be activated so he can say that he's a strong member of the ninja as well. As they begin to train throughout their life, Naruto realizes that his skills are much easier to him, and he learns quite fast as well. Iruka-sensei is impressed by Naruto, who hardly actually has to try at all when he's learning anything, and seems to already have muscle memory as well as some random thoughts that he thinks of when he does it as well. When they do Shuriken Jutsu training, Naruto lands it perfectly every single time. When it comes to sparring, Naruto is finally his first spar of Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto looks up to Sasuke so much, and he sees how amazing he is and how everyone likes him. Unknown to Naruto, however, Sasuke thinks the exact opposite and thinks that Naruto is cooler and wishes that he had power like him. Naruto and Sasuke then get into a fight. As Naruto then powers up his chakra, at this point he accesses another 1% of One for All. As he activates this 1% of his power, suddenly some yellow and orange sparks begin to blitz across his entire body, and his strength and muscles begin to increase. At that point now, Naruto dives in at a faster rate that Iruka has ever seen for someone of that age. He blitzes forward behind Sasuke and then chops him on the shoulder, patting him and waving and smiling. Sasuke turns around with a hard punch and a kick. Naruto's dodging in speed, but as his actual physical aim goes, he's not quite used to it yet, as he's actually not trying to activate his Kekkei Genkai, and he seems to have a lack of control over it. Fortunately for him, he hasn't tried to use ever 100% of it before, and if he had, his arms and legs would probably be completely shattered and ruined. Luckily, however, the former holders of One for All and his family had made sure to limit it so that way you could only access 1% of the power until you were old enough to become considered an actual ninja and begin to train it with higher percentage levels. As Naruto, who continues to train with his Kekkei Genkai as well as fighting with Sasuke, then dives back into the fight. Naruto rushes back at Sasuke while they're sparring and begins to throw shuriken. As he throws a kunai, it blitzes through the air as wind arches behind it, creating a loud sound. Iruka dives in front of it the way and grabs the kunai before it can hit Sasuke. He throws the kunai back into the ground and tells Naruto that was an amazing job, but to go a little bit easier on his fellow classmate. Naruto says sorry, and this begins to build some resentment in Sasuke and Naruto as they begin to see each other more as rivals every single day. Now, as the time had passed, Naruto had become more accustomed to the power that he knows he has. He understands at 12 years old that he has an ability that the third Hokage had told him had come from his parents, that he is called One for All. He said this power is very similar to the Sharingan in the fact that it's a family Kekkei Genkai, and that if everyone who had possessed it in the past hadn't been able to take care of it and continue to grow, then Naruto wouldn't have it at this point. Naruto nods understanding with the care that his ancestors had taken, even though he didn't know who they were, in order to make sure that the next generation would continue to have the strength needed to assure victory. Naruto in this timeline is actually quite a bit smarter, as he unnaturally to him, without him having to try, has some memories from the past from other ninja who had been in the history of his family that had been transferred on with the power, as well as him trying to focus more in school so that way he can become a competent ninja and harness this ability of his to become the Hokage someday. As Naruto is then taking in to do his test to finally graduate from the academy, he puts his hands together and forms the clone jutsu. Even with Kurama, who at this point hasn't even tried to do much, disrupting his chakra, he still is far powerful enough to put as much chakra as he can and forms one competent clone. The single backlash of this is that Naruto doesn't immediately learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu, but as we move on, he'll have other abilities. Naruto cheers as he passes on this try, and he then rushes out with his ninja headband, proud of himself. Mizuki later that day at night would try and steal the scroll from the third Hokage himself, and as he walks in, the third Hokage senses him and then beats him and tells him basically in a fight, and Mizuki is arrested just like in the original. Iruka and Naruto don't have that same moment as well, unfortunately, but anyway, let's move on. Naruto is assigned to Team 7 for his test scores being decent in the average, but still being the worst in the class. At that point, Naruto, who's disappointed that he is on the same team as Sasuke Uchiha, which all the girls like, as well as Sakura Haruno, who his crushes, so that's a good point for him. Hinata is even more impressed with Naruto and is super proud that he actually passed the exam, and she begins to believe that he might actually become the Hokage. Naruto then meets Kakashi. As Kakashi walks into the room, finally, after all the other teams have left, he looks to his team and says he's pretty much disappointed in all of them. Naruto is bummed out from this and asks Kakashi-sensei what he means. Kakashi just sighs and has them all come to the roof. As Team 7 climbs up to the roof, Naruto sits down. Kakashi stares at these brats and then thinks about how these will probably become ninjas someday. He asks what their goals, aspirations are, and what they want to do. Sasuke then says that he doesn't so much have a goal as he has an aspiration. His actual gift that he has been given of being an Uchiha will be to eliminate a certain someone. Sakura then looks at Sasuke and just blushes and laughs and giggles. Naruto thinks this is stupid, and then as it's his turn, he then stands up. He then crunches his fist together as he tightens his grip and tells his new sensei that his dream is to become the Hokage and that he likes ramen. Kakashi's taken aback by this and then asks what he means. Naruto then explains that if he becomes the Hokage, then everyone will admire him and they won't treat him like trash anymore. And if he can get people to do that, then he'll prove that he can be the strongest ninja ever. He looks to Kakashi with hope in his eyes, and Kakashi pats him on the head, telling him to hold on to their sport and maybe try and evolve from being a genin before you can think about being the Hokage. Naruto sighs as he sits back down and then asks what they're doing. Kakashi then explains that they'll be taking a test known as the Bell Test. The Bell Test will basically be involved with them basically having to not eat breakfast tomorrow, and they'll see what he means. Confused by this new test idea, they all head home without eating anything. Naruto stares at his dinner as he eats it, thankfully, and not getting to eat breakfast tomorrow, unfortunately. As everyone lies in bed, Naruto thinks about his new test of becoming a full-fledged ninja. As Team 7 arrives at the actual field, they then see Kakashi Hatake standing there as he explains that, see these two bells I've got here? You're going to have to take them from me. And I guess we'll get to fight right now. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura get into a fighting position as they're all about to head out and try and defeat Kakashi. As we said last time, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto were just about to get into the fight with Kakashi. As Sasuke and Sakura dive into the forest, Naruto activates, unknown to him, part 1% of his One For All in his body. He and Kakashi begin to fight at a high volume of power and speed, as electricity is coursing over Naruto's body as he's using full cowling unknown to him. He continues to fight with Kakashi. He dives at Kakashi, as Kakashi blocks with his book in hand still, easily with one hand. Naruto then disappears and is right behind Kakashi. He swings with his leg, and Kakashi blocks this as well, feeling some pressure behind it actually, which is impressive to him as Naruto's only a genin. Naruto, who doesn't know the Shadow Clone Jutsu in this timeline, is basically using all of his strength as well as kunai and weapons. He then pulls out kunai and throws them as hard as he can. Along with the combined boost from One For All, his kunai are soaring fast through the air, as Kakashi already knows about his special Kikagenkai that his master used to have. He tells Naruto to go further and break through his limits as he pushes himself towards Naruto. Naruto then says he's going to get that book out of Kakashi's hand no matter what, and become the Hokage. As he says this, he jumps into the air doing a backflip, and as he gets onto the tree, he then pushes all of One For All, unknown to him, into his legs, as the third Hokage had told him that if he's about to strike, make sure that he can put all of his power into one spot when he's about to attack. As he pushes the power into his legs that he can feel coursing through him, he then launches off. Immediately, he can feel a pain in his legs, small pain, as he's boosted his One For All up to 5% unknown to him. As he punches Kakashi, Kakashi feels this and actually it pushes his book out of his hand as he goes flying back. Kakashi gets kind of ticked off that a Genin got ahead on him and begins to take this fight a little bit more seriously. Naruto and Kakashi go hand-to-hand combat, and Naruto's feeling the burn on him as 5% of One For All is a lot of power for him. Naruto continues to work as he dives backward and forward, trying to duck and weave out of Kakashi's attacks. Kakashi throws a fireball jutsu at him, which Naruto then, using a punch of his own, then dives out of the way, using the pressure to push him out of the blast. He then rushes forward as he dives at Kakashi one more time with a kunai. As he dives with him with a kunai, he then tries to slash at Kakashi's face. Kakashi then dives back as so not to reveal his Sharingan, and falls into one of the traps Sasuke had laid. Sasuke says nice as he pulls the rope tight. Kakashi feels his foot being about to be latched into the rope and quickly makes a substitution jutsu as he teleports out of that attack and then gets back into the battle. Sasuke dives in along with Naruto, and Sakura appears behind Kakashi trying to get him into a full Nelson. Kakashi laughs and then says that was a good attempt, and then throws her over him with using his own body slam. Kakashi then fights all three Genin as they work together. Naruto is the one who would be the forward guard, Sasuke is the rear guard with his flame jutsu, and then Sakura would be in the middle, trying to support Naruto and block any openings he may leave open for Kakashi. As Kakashi dives into the fight, forgetting about anything else in the surrounding area, Naruto is actually going blow to blow with him. His teeth begin to grit as he can't keep this up for much longer, and as he falls back down from 5% to 4%, Kakashi can feel he's slowing down. He pushes Naruto harder and asks him what he's doing, that he knows he has more power than that in him. This makes Naruto try, and he barely holds himself at 4%. Naruto then dives out of the way as Sasuke says now. Sasuke then activates a fireball jutsu and is about to hit Kakashi, when Kakashi blocks it and teleports out of the way, holding a kunai by all three as he holds them with his other arm in his grip. He then holds the kunai close to their throat, and then as he looks Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura in the eyes, he then claps and says they did an excellent job. All three of them then eat the lunch as they had done a great job, even without getting the bells, so that their teamwork was amazing. He tells them that he was surprised by Naruto's strength and says that he actually wishes to train Naruto further on his skills. Naruto smiles and puts his hand behind his head, saying that he's glad his sensei likes him and that he did a good job. He says that he likes him would be a little bit of an overstatement. This makes Sasuke and Sakura laugh at Naruto's expense, and he kind of sits on the ground pouting. At that point, then, Kakashi says that their missions will begin tomorrow. They enjoy a good meal and head back to the Leaf Village, where Kakashi thinks about how he actually pushed his master's son to go and use 5% of his power, which was quite interesting. He then remembers what Minato had told him a long time ago, back when Naruto was still nothing but a thought before, Kushina and Minato had died. Minato had explained to Kakashi and Obito and Rin how his Kikagenkai worked, and that basically his entire family had a chakra line linked up between all of them, so that when they die, it would pass on to their next of kin in closest relation to them. And so that's how it's been passed through the Namikaze clan all the way to him. And that his son Naruto, if he ever had a child, at this point he didn't know he would have one, then his son or daughter would inherit it. Kakashi understands this well and says that he'll train Naruto in order to understand his power, so that way he doesn't kill himself like what Minato Sensei almost did. He has a small flashback as he thinks about what happened when Minato tried to save him as well as Rin back when he was forced to kill her during the Three Tails incident. At that point, then he stops and shakes his head as he remembers that Minato Sensei couldn't do anything. As he walks back to the Leaf Village, he thinks about his training with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura the next day. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto show up, and they begin their D-rank missions. After a week of D-rank missions, they're pretty much free, so Kakashi says it's time to train. He tells Sasuke and Sakura and begins to instruct them on the chakra training that he would do in the Land of Waves in the original. For Naruto, however, he tells him that he has a special type of training for him. He then reveals a set of weights and a running course. He is proud of himself for making this and tells Naruto, asks him what he thinks. Naruto's jaw drops and he asks Kakashi what he thinks he's doing. Kakashi explains to him that his body can't handle the power it's producing, so your next job for the next few weeks when we're not doing D-rank missions is you're going to train your ass off and become as strong as you can be. Naruto basically falls to the ground and then he cries a bit as he has to do weight training. For the next few weeks, Naruto is trained in weights as well as explained what is Genkai is him by the third Hokage as well as Kakashi. Kakashi and the third Hokage call Naruto into his office and begin to explain to him about his past. That's right, Naruto would learn that he's the son of the fourth Hokage earlier in this timeline. They explained to him the Namikaze clan and how his last name was Uzumaki after his mother to protect him from the power of people trying to kill him in order to end his ability. That ability. Naruto understands and isn't cocky as he'd been always wondering what this power he'd felt inside him had been for such a long time. Kakashi and Hiruzen explain that One for All is the Genkai of the Namikaze clan, which has been passed on to him, and that basically it combines all the previous chakra and jutsus accessible to the Namikaze clan and installs it into that single power passed down to you. This means that Naruto has the opportunity to learn jutsus from the ancient past, such as the jutsus of the fourth Hokage himself. Rather easily, in fact, but for now, you have to try and learn how to master 100% of the strength boosting, speed boosting, as well as chakra boosting aspects of the ability. They then explain that Naruto's body isn't strong enough physically in order to handle it right now, so his body has naturally been set a limiter to 1%. Now they're going to be working on trying to increase that limit to 10%. By the time Naruto's getting fed up with the D-rank missions and all the training, Naruto is able to access 8% of One for All fairly easily. After being trained by Kakashi himself physically and trying to run, Kakashi actually had Might Guy assist with him as he owed him a favor for winning the last one, and Might Guy said that if he would train him. When Naruto was introduced to Might Guy was impressed with his physical strength and said that he would be training with him and his other student Lee from now on. Naruto is introduced to Rock Lee, and they are pretty much amazed at how their powers are so similar to the 8 Gates and One for All. Naruto explains how One for All basically works, and basically that his power can overtake him if he uses too much percentage of it, and it could even hurt his own body if he was stupid enough to try and do that. Deku. But, anyway, as Naruto trains by using push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice with Rock Lee, Might Guy, as well as Kakashi, he's getting fed up of all the training and D-rank missions, as he feels his skills have gotten better to the point where he can take on anything. He demands the third Hokage that they get to go on a C-rank mission at least so they can do something interesting. The third Hokage finally digresses and he agrees that he'll let them go on one. He then calls in Tazuna, the bridge builder who had been waiting for a while, and says that this team will be happy to accept your request to defend you. As Tazuna sees the three runts as well as Kakashi, he's curious on if these 4 can actually protect him. At least he has one Jonin with him, which is better than nothing. At that point, they leave the village, and Naruto is excited and is pumped with energy, when suddenly, as they're walking far away from the village, Naruto senses something, and he sees something. It's almost like a sense of his own that he had never felt before. He feels danger. At that point, a kunai comes flying out and is about to hit Kakashi. Naruto activates 5% of One for All and then immediately boosts forward with a quick kick off the ground. He slashes with his hand out of the air and cuts the kunai in half with his own kunai as it falls to the ground. Kakashi didn't even have the chance to create a substitution jutsu. At that point, Sasuke dives into the fight against the 2 Chunin demon brothers. Naruto helps Sasuke and assists with Sasuke kicking both of them back and Naruto finishing with an axe blade kick down, sending them into the ground as they're knocked out. Kakashi then interrogates them, and they explain about what's going on with the bridge builder and how they'll have to take him out. And later on, they then leave them, and Kakashi figures out that the bridge builder had been lying, and this mission might even be a higher rank, because those were Chunin, so he doesn't think his teammate is ready for this, especially Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura he doesn't know yet, since she hasn't really displayed any skills. At that point, Naruto, who's walking along, sees something as well as Kakashi, and Sasuke does as well in this timeline. Sasuke then dives to the ground along with the other four, Tazuna included, as Kakashi pushes him down. Sakura, last moment, sees and dives to the ground as the sword comes flying overhead into a tree. There he stands, Zabuza, the demon of the Mist Village. As Naruto, Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura can feel the hair on the back of their necks stand up as their eyes widen when they look up to see this tall man with a symbol over his own headband covering his head and hair. Kakashi, who scrutinizes every detail on his face, realizes that this is Zabuza, from the demon Zabuza, one of the 7 deadly swordsmen of the mist. Kakashi would then think about what he could do inside of his own mind on how to avoid having a confrontation or to protect the bridge builder at all costs without sacrificing his own teammates. Suddenly, Kakashi stands up from the blow and looks up towards Zabuza. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura take after their sensei's lead as they stand up as well to defend Tazuna. When Kakashi is about to get into battle with Zabuza, Kakashi thinks about the abilities that his team has. Naruto has access to what he knows from Minato Sensei is One for All, the Namikaze clan's special Kikagenkai. That could come useful if they can somehow get Naruto to combine or use his power. But again, Naruto is still training with that, and so he isn't going to have the full potential of power yet. So what can Sasuke do? Sasuke might have the access to the Sharingan, and Sakura, nah. Anyway, moving on from there, Kakashi then gets into battle with Zabuza. As Kakashi throws 3 kunai to dictate how fast this ninja actually is. He watches, analyzing slowly, that Zabuza's sword moved at about 0.3 milliseconds, slicing all 3 kunai of the air as they are then shot perfectly into a tree, lodging into the wood board. Kakashi looks up at Zabuza and is kind of impressed, as Zabuza jumps down to the ground with his sword in hand, making a loud crash to the forest floor below. As he looks up at them now, Kakashi determines that they're pretty much almost done with this mission, since this level of ninja is quite advanced and very powerful compared to what they had before. Kakashi then tells his team to stay in formation and that he'll handle this, to watch what a Jonin ninja can do. Kakashi dives in and immediately starts with a substitution jutsu to throw Zabuza off. As the substitution jutsu goes running in towards Zabuza, then Kakashi creates 3 shadow clones. He then desummons the shadow clones directly behind him and the substitution to create the shadow clone poof smoke effect that he knows very well. This uses minimal chakra of Kakashi, and so Kakashi continues to run around and go to the right of Zabuza. As Zabuza then takes a sword and prepares to block a strike, the substitution comes running forward, and at that point, it then slashes with its own kunai. At that point, Zabuza slashes through the substitution as it's just a fake. Nothing happens. Kakashi then dives out of the smoke as he then throws another smoke bomb, jabbing his kunai towards Zabuza's face. Zabuza then pulls his sword up and blocks the strike, and then slams Kakashi with the butt of his sword, causing Kakashi to go flying backwards towards the team. Zabuza decides to take the more careful approach on this now, as he then activates his hidden mist jutsu. After Zabuza activates his hidden mist jutsu, he then surrounds the entire Team 7 with the mist, so that way now he can feel their entire chakra and any movements that they might make as well. Now that he has this under control, Zabuza then proceeds to take out the strongest among them. In the mist, he can sense that Kakashi Hatake is probably centered over there by the other. This makes Zabuza feel uncomfortable and also concerned that he may be doing something wrong, as that kid and Kakashi, no way. Kakashi could not have less chakra than that. However, it seems to the mist that it does, so now Zabuza slowly, as he approaches Naruto, he has his sword in hand, is about to slash down on Naruto, and Kakashi fights against Zabuza. The water clone that's been forming the mist from behind them is suddenly taken out by Sasuke, who throws a shuriken towards it. Naruto, who had sensed that it was there, then tries to jump in with Kakashi. As Kakashi gets put into a water prison jutsu as they fall into the lake, suddenly Naruto steps back as he's about to step foot in the water. Naruto then looks to Sasuke and back to Zabuza, as he then says that this might be risky, but he's going to rescue Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke asks what he's doing, and Sakura rushes in concerned. Naruto, what are you gonna do? As Naruto clenches his fists together, he then closes his eyes slowly and breathes deeply in and out. His muscles and his entire body seems to contract and pulse for several seconds, when suddenly it all just loosens. Electricity just explodes over Naruto's body as he activates full cowling at 12% over his body. As Naruto pushes the limit even higher so that way he can defeat this opponent, he pushes himself to barely 20%. Naruto's body, which is decently stronger than, if we're hopping out of the story for a second, Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia's body is much weaker than Naruto. As Naruto, who's an Uzumaki, as well as being raised in a world where they start training from birth to be ninja who fight in war, then that puts Deku way behind. So Naruto, if you're saying that Naruto can't handle this much power right away, I just disagree with you. But you also have to remember that 20% of this one for all has been passed down much longer, so it's a lot harder to control in his body more than the normal one for all that had only been passed down a few times comparatively. Anyway, moving back into it. As Naruto's electricity courses over his body, the orange electricity flows throughout his hair and eyes, as well as his entire body, as I've said. Then he goes into the fight. Naruto then rushes forward across the wire as he jumps with his full strength just as he's about to breach the sand and make contact with the liquid. As he goes flying at Zabuza, Zabuza then swings his sword at Naruto. Naruto then puts all the power into his fist as he then slams his fist into the sword as it's coming at him. As the executioner's blade slices and gets cut in half by Naruto's force, the blade is beginning to bend as the metal begins to crack and fracture from the strength of Naruto's punch. Air currents begin to flow behind the sword as overall the entire sword begins to shake and vibrate. Zabuza is forced to let the sword go as it goes flying out of his hand and is lodged into a tree. A large wind barrier goes flying right behind it as Naruto falls into the water. Naruto grabs onto Zabuza's leg and with the last of his one-for-all power, he then pulls him under the water. Then Sasuke, for good measure, rushes over and throws kunai directly at Zabuza as he's going under. Zabuza lets Kakashi go, and Kakashi now stands on top of the water. As Zabuza pulls himself up, Naruto's nowhere to be found. Kakashi quickly swims down to see Naruto stuck down there as his foot is lodged under a rock. Kakashi's about to help him out when Naruto kicks the rock off and smashes into bits. He gives a thumbs up to Kakashi and points upward, telling him to look out. Zabuza, who's now reclaimed his sword, begins to fly down into the water as we begin to take place of the battle underwater with Zabuza and Kakashi. As Kakashi then resurfaces out of the water, pulling Naruto out with him, he chucks him to the shore, taking a blow to the shoulder from Zabuza's fist. Kakashi and Zabuza get into an intense battle, almost animalistic-like, when Kakashi reveals his Sharingan, and then, as the Wild Dragon Jutsu begins to be cast, Kakashi then suddenly wipes out Zabuza from the game, as Zabuza is kicked out of the lake and is sent directly into the other side. As Zabuza recovers slowly, then out of nowhere, apparently, Senbon come flying out of the woods as they come crashing directly into Zabuza's neck. As we know, Haku, with his Anbu mask, comes running out of the woods, picks up Zabuza, waves to the team, and then just basically uses the substitution jutsu to teleport away. At that point, now, the rest of the team is now recovering as Kakashi falls down from his overuse of chakra, the Sharingan. As he sinks underneath the water, Naruto dives back into the water and picks up Kakashi, dragging him to the surface, and pulls him over to the sand. As he then is placed down, they then begin to drag him back to Tazuna's house. Kakashi slowly recovers after many few days, and eventually Naruto, Sakura, as well as Sasuke begin to train with chakra control. As Kakashi trains the three on their control of their power for walking on trees, Naruto would pass out just like in the original when he and Haku have their conversation. As Naruto awakens, he can see that there's someone standing there, a very pretty girl, or at least he thinks it's a girl. Haku stands there and asks Naruto what he's been doing and what's going on with all these trees. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Naruto stands up, feeling fully recovered, and tells Haku that, well, he's training for some chakra control so he can become stronger. Haku then explains how that if you fight for someone else, then you become stronger for that person. Naruto doesn't really understand this at first, but says he does, as they depart ways and Naruto heads back to the group. Naruto and the rest of the gang would then head out to the bridge where they'd confront Zabuza as well as Haku. As Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Tazuna have now dragged Kakashi back to the house, as I've previously said, Kakashi successfully had trained them all in chakra control. After their training, they've now begun to head back towards the bridge to complete it. Now, Kakashi knows that Zabuza is alive, and he tells the team about this, full well knowing that because that Anbu would generally have done what they needed to do on scene right there. So, this means that he must have had an accomplice. Naruto and Sasuke, as well as Sakura, understands what this means, and so they follow Kakashi, and with complete caution, they surround Tazuna, walking in a slow stance so as no kunai or senbon may get through their formation. Kakashi, on the other hand, continues to walk forward and makes himself the target of the group, waiting for any attacks to come rushing at him. With this sort of technique of having the most powerful member fighting in the front and the weaker members in the back defending together, Kakashi then sees the mist begin to roll over the bridge. Kakashi signals his hand back to tell them to stay where they are. Naruto, Sasuke, as well as Sakura stop right around Tazuna and tell him to wait there. Tazuna crouches down so as to be away from any kind of attack. Now, Sasuke is intercepted as Haku comes rushing out of the group and dives at Sasuke immediately, determining that he may be the greatest threat, as well as Haku himself not wishing to fight the one who he'd had that conversation with a few days ago, and thinking that if he can live, then perhaps he can make that as part of his own ninja way and make the world a little bit brighter. As Haku and Sasuke get into battle, Senbon come flying from Haku at every which way. He's using hand seals with only one hand, which Sasuke is getting thrown off by, and Kakashi's quite impressed with. As Haku and Sasuke are getting even more fierce in their taijutsu, Sasuke is actually pushing Haku back quite a bit. Haku has attained quite a bit of damage on his arms and legs, as Haku realizes that he's going to have to use his trump card early so he can get this guy out of the way. Zabuza is now swinging his sword directly down on Kakashi, as he creates a few water clones to go after Tazuna, Sakura, as well as Naruto. Naruto easily dispatches these water clones with one fierce kick, not even having to use one for all, as he has enough power after doing the chakra control training, as well as just being more aware this time. Naruto then, using his prowess, then rushes forward to try and get into the fight with Sasuke as well as Haku so they can get rid of Haku and help Kakashi in fighting against Zabuza. At this point, then, Sasuke would tell Naruto to stay out of there when Naruto comes running in, tackling into the group. Haku at that point has just finished creating his mirrors, and so the icy demon mirrors have now surrounded them. As Haku goes flying from mirror to mirror, confusing them at light speed as he throws Senbon down at them, cutting them on every part of their body. Naruto then activates One for All up to 12%. Sasuke, watch out for this. Suddenly, Naruto goes running towards the mirrors and punches one of the ice mirrors. The mirror completely shatters as Haku is just about to bounce to it. As Haku jumps out of the mirror and switches quickly to a next mirror, Naruto then tells him that he can destroy the mirrors. His fist, as he shows it to Sasuke, has cuts all over it though from the mirror shattering, and it's bruised heavily as he put all of his power into breaking it. Sasuke and Naruto continue to fight against Haku, and Haku has to take out Sasuke now. He throws all the Senbon and charges into Sasuke. As Sasuke is getting hit and cut by Senbon, Naruto tries to rip them and snatch them out of the air using his aerial jumping as well as his distractions in general from his lightning to make Haku try and avoid Sasuke. As Haku then throws a ton of Senbon towards Naruto, deciding to not show any more mercy towards him. Sasuke dives in front of the way, hoping that Naruto can defeat this enemy. As Sasuke then takes the full power impact of all the Senbon, Naruto sits there in a rage. As Naruto's hands grope the ground and feel Sasuke's blood, he looks up towards where Haku is in his mirror. Haku says nothing and just stares down coldly through his mask. Naruto begins shaking with rage and pain as he just lost one of his rival as well as a teammate and comrade. Naruto finally accesses the most power he can be able to access at that point. Naruto charges up his One For All to 50%, and his entire body looks like kind of like how Rock Lee uses when he uses the gates. His entire body looks completely stressed and powered up, as then Naruto on top of that activates his QB chakra for the first time. With the QB chakra healing Naruto pretty much instantly from his wounds slowly developing in his cells from One For All, he's taking no damage as well as maintaining much more power. This is due to the QB's intense healing factor as well as Naruto's own healing factor. Naruto then blitzes forward, faster than Kakashi, Zabuza, or anyone on the battlefield could see. Kakashi has never seen the One For All be used to this degree. Minato Sensei had always used it only up to 30%, and he told Kakashi himself that using anything above 30% was dangerous and could give you permanent injury. Naruto, however, wasn't affected by this due to him being a Jinchuriki. As Naruto teleports forward, it seems to be, an orange flash is left behind as he appears directly next to Haku. Suddenly, his fist is inside of Haku's mask, and at that point, Haku's actual brains explode out of his skull, as his entire skull just seems to vaporize, and a large pressure of wind goes blasting out as his body gets sent towards Kakashi and Zabuza. As Haku's dead, mangled corpse's head flies directly towards Zabuza, then Kakashi stabs his Raikiri, going through Haku's corpse and into Zabuza. Zabuza is just enraged that his student failed, as well as how powerful this other new kid is. As soon as Naruto falls from the ground, he deactivates QB chakra, as well as he is completely out of One For All. As his body is on the ground convulsing, he vomits twice as he just stands there and his knees and legs are shaking. He tries to crawl back towards Sasuke when Zabuza tries to go and kill Naruto. At this point, Kakashi blocks it and tells him that in this ninja world, this is the only way it can be. He then kicks Zabuza back as Zabuza is then pushed into a crowd of Gato's men. He then slays, murders, and kills all of Gato's men, including Gato himself, before he then, as he crawls back towards Kakashi, he then falls, his dead body, after being completely out of chakra, falls right next to Haku. At that point, snow begins to fall over the entire Land of Waves, and for the first time, Tazuna feels like the Land of Waves won't be under tyranny anymore. Now, Naruto, as well as the rest of the team, after recovering for a week, finally decide to head back to the Hidden Leaf Village. Naruto remembers exactly what happened, as he had laid his punch into that person's face. The mask beneath had shattered, and he'd seen that girl, who he thought was a girl, from before in the forest, as smiling and also crying. Immediately then, all he saw was blood and gore as he passed out to the ground. Naruto had nightmares over this for the next week before he had decided to get up and go with everyone back to the Leaf Village. Naruto would be haunted by this memory for quite some time. As Naruto goes with Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura, they then retreat from the Land of Waves as Tazuna waves them goodbye and Naruto tells him that he's glad that they did a good job. Tazuna tells Naruto in the game that he's going to name the bridge the Naruto Bridge, after how Naruto helped save it. As Naruto then heads out of the bridge, as well as getting away from the Land of Waves, Naruto's thoughts become more clear as he asks Kakashi-sensei what that meant. Why did he have to kill Haku? Kakashi explains that in this ninja world, it's kill or be killed. Those ninja would have killed us if we had given them the thought of day of trying to let them live. Kakashi says this with a sad tone, and as he looks down at Naruto, who seems so naive at the time, Kakashi puts his hand on Naruto's head and says that he'll understand one day. Naruto and Sasuke, as well as Sakura, are both pretty solemn as they head back to the Leaf Village. No one says anything on the way back. However, once they do make it back, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura decide to go walk around. When they're walking around, Konohamaru comes running out of nowhere, cheerful and joyful as he runs into his older brother Naruto. Well, it's kind of older brother Naruto. Big brother Naruto, want to go walk around the village with me? Then Naruto, who has nothing better to do, agrees. As Naruto and Konohamaru split up from Sasuke and Sakura, where now Sakura is kind of blushing that she's alone with Sasuke. Sasuke also disappears somewhere into a tree or something. Sakura sadly walks home alone. As Naruto and Konohamaru are running around, Konohamaru runs directly into Kankuro. As Kankuro turns around, we see in front of us the 3 ninja of the sand. So Naruto, as well as Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura, after their small encounter that happened in the last episode, which we'll get into right now, Naruto and Kankuro had run into the Sand Trio, the 3 sand ninja from the Land of Wind who had come for the Chunin exams. Naruto himself had no idea what was going on at the time, but he wasn't really happy that Kankuro was picking on Konohamaru, especially because Konohamaru was the third Hokage's grandson. Moving on, Naruto quickly saved Konohamaru at a breakneck speed with electricity flowing behind him, using only 5% of One For All. Gaara's eyes track him slowly as he sees that this kid has got some sort of strange abilities that make his speed and strength amped. Gaara then says that they'll leave for now, but they'll see him again in the Chunin exams. Gaara and the rest of the team then head out of that area as they walk away. Naruto then takes Konohamaru as he then takes him back to his house and meets up with Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke. In this timeline, Sasuke doesn't come down from the tree as Gaara was too preoccupied with Naruto and was kind of taken aback by Naruto's strength. Naruto, Kakashi, and Sasuke meet up there first when Sakura comes running around the corner, breathing heavily as she says she heard what happened with Gaara. Well, and now at that point, Naruto nods his head and says that it's fine now. Kakashi says that they'll be taking the Chunin exams if it's up to them, that they have the choice if they want to go in or not. Sasuke and Naruto are both ready and agree that they're pretty much set to go in. At that point, Sakura is worried about it and says she doesn't know if she's ready, but because her teammates want to do it, then she'll definitely do it. So she puts a thumbs up and says that she'll do the Chunin exams if so too. Kakashi is happy and then says that they'll be taking it in a week. Naruto, for the next week, practices mostly with trying to see how long he can maintain One For All throughout his entire body. Naruto has realized that he heals abnormally fast from any wounds, especially after what happened when he accessed almost 50% of his overall One For All power against Haku and Zabuza, which caused his body to almost disintegrate and to become too powerful for his own small body to maintain. Naruto's determined that in order for him to build strength, then he'll actually have to train his body in order to handle the power, which he then goes to Might Guy, as Kakashi instructed him to, and for the next week, he practices and does the same training with him without meeting any of Guy's team, Rock Lee, Neji, or Tenten. Naruto thinks that guy's pretty cool, and he thinks that he's similar to him in his own way, and that he calls him bushy brows because he has a weird eyebrow style. Naruto still likes him though and tells him that he asked Might Guy if he has any students going to the Chunin exam. Rock Lee, for the last day before they take the Chunin exam, comes training with them and is introduced to Naruto. Naruto and Rock Lee hit it off right away as both of them are pretty similar. Naruto talks about why he has to train so hard so he can get stronger physically, and that if he can build his muscles, then he'll be able to use more of his Kekkei power. Naruto waves goodbye to Might Guy and says that he'll use what he learned to try and become a Chunin. Guy laughs and says that that's the explosive power of youth, as both Rock Lee and Naruto head off in their own directions. Naruto the next day meets up with Sasuke and Sakura as they head over to the building where the Chunin exam's first exam would be taking place. Rock Lee would be coming in with Neji and Tenten as well, and as soon as Naruto sees Rock Lee, he waves and smiles and calls out to him. Lee then turns around and smiles and laughs and says Naruto, as they then rush up to each other as waves in the image come together as they then give each other a mighty handshake. Sasuke is just staring dumbfounded and thinks that Naruto is such an idiot. Neji and Sasuke make eye contact and then look away for a second. Sakura and Tenten are talking as well when they all head into the building together. Once they get inside the building, they then go up to the 3rd floor, and as they make it to the floor, there's some Chunin trying to mess with them. Naruto doesn't really see through this genjutsu at first, however, Neji as well as Sakura and Sasuke all do, and so they easily dispel the genjutsu and both teams head in. As they head in this timeline, Naruto then is walking when Rock Lee challenges Sasuke to a fight. Naruto quickly turns around and then holds his fist up, saying that if anyone's gonna fight Lee, it's gonna be him. Then Lee smiles and says he'll take both of them on at the same time together. Naruto then looks up at him and has a fire in his eyes, telling him that you shouldn't take them so lightly, as him and Sasuke prepare to get into the battle. As both him and Sasuke dive into the fight, Naruto locks a roundhouse kick in with Rock Lee as they look into each other's eyes, quickly disappearing from Sakura's vision. Naruto quickly activates an One for All up to 5% throughout his entire body, which is relatively easy for him to maintain as he goes hand to hand with Rock Lee. Sasuke comes in for the assist as he jumps off of Naruto's back like a springboard, pushing him to the ground as he then locks an axe kick blade down directly on top of Rock Lee. Rock Lee blocks this and then swipes Sasuke away using the reverse lotus to push Sasuke back. At this point, he's considering opening one of the gates, but then suddenly Might Guy, as Naruto sees him, comes flying out of nowhere with a mighty kick as he spins and kicks Rock Lee in the face. Might Guy stands up and grabs both Lee and Naruto, telling them that they shouldn't be fighting right before their big exam, and that they should save their power of youth for later. Naruto cries a single tear, and Rock Lee cries a bunch as he says, "Yes, Guy-sensei." Naruto and Rock Lee give each other a fist bump and then rush into the exam. Sasuke and Sakura just look confused and also wondering what the heck that guy did to Naruto. As Naruto gets into the exam and sits down, he then, to his horror, realizes that he's taking a paper exam. Naruto quickly slams his head into the desk as he just thinks that he hadn't studied anything at all and that he's probably going to fail this test for sure. Naruto, as the paper's handed out, cries a little bit as he thinks that he's going to fail both Kakashi and Guy-sensei. Oh no. Suddenly, Hinata sits down next to Naruto and sees him, blushing as she sees him just staring off into space. Naruto says hi to Hinata and then goes back to what he was doing. When the test first starts, Naruto just closes his eyes and thinks about what he can do. At this point, Naruto prays. Naruto prays harder than he ever had before. At that point, the vestiges from One for All actually appear in his mind, and the last vestiges, the fourth Hokage, unknown to him, his shadow appears and tells Naruto the answers to some of the questions on the test before it fades out of his view. Naruto opens his eyes and then fills the questions in, hoping that he's right and thinking that he just had a really good idea. Naruto then fills out the rest of the questions as best as he could, and then when the final question comes, he sits still, not getting up and not giving up either. Naruto raises his hand, says the same thing when he slams his hand down, that he's not going to give up. At that point, then, the exam is over, and everyone breathes a sigh of relief, especially Sasuke and Sakura, who thought that Naruto might actually fail and that they would get their entire team expelled from the exam. Now, Anko comes running into the room at a breakneck speed while eating a candy bar in one of her hands. Anko looks over and sees the Genin, the puny worms, and then says that they'll be heading over to the Forest of Death. Immediately, the rest of the group get up as they head towards the forest. At that point, Naruto, as well as Sasuke and Sakura, are pretty much ready for anything as their scrolls are handed out. Naruto has the same interaction with Anko in the original, with Orochimaru licking the blood off the side of her face, and Naruto's kind of freaked out from this as they head into the forest. Naruto says that he'll offer to scout ahead and look for any other enemy teams, but Sasuke disagrees with this and says that they should stick together in case any other enemy ninja try and jump on him or try and take them out all at once. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are rushing and walking through the forest when Naruto has to go to the bathroom. When Naruto goes to take the restroom, he's about to get jumped when suddenly he can sense something quickly and he dodges out of the way with his fast reflexes. With his pants down, he suddenly does a flying kick, ripping apart his left pants leg as he then blushes as the person is knocked out. He quickly pulls up his pants leg and pulls a kunai out, trying to stitch back his pants leg on. As he rushes back with half of his left side of his pants from the knee down ripped off, and this other ninja dragging behind him with a rope, Naruto has a tear in his eye and says that he tried to jump him. Sasuke looks down at the ninja and then punches him on the head, telling him that that was rude. At that point, they then check to see if he has a scroll, and conveniently they have the same scroll that they would need in order to pass. So they begin to head towards the tower. As they're heading along, Naruto suddenly is about to feel something. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all have the hair on the backs of their necks stand up, as a giant snake comes rushing out of the forest, and on top of it, there stands Orochimaru. Last time Naruto and the gang had gone into the Forest of Death, and as we had left off last episode, Orochimaru was pursuing the group and was about to attack Sasuke. and Naruto as well as Sakura. Now we hop back into the story right there. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura gaze upwards, they can see Orochimaru standing atop of his reptilian sidekick. His snake pet just staring with its cold, hard reptilian eyes. Naruto tells Sasuke and Sakura that they need to get out of there, as Orochimaru is causing his bloodlust to flow over them. Both Sasuke and Sakura, as well as Naruto himself, can't even move, as they're standing there frozen by shock. As they're standing there frozen, seemingly unable to do anything, the vestiges of One For All help Naruto, as Naruto feels something push him just as he's about to get attacked. He suddenly snaps out of it as he sees the vision of some other shadowy figures. He then pushes Sasuke and Sakura out of the way as a giant snake comes crashing directly where his team and him were just standing. Naruto gets into a fighting position as Orochimaru prepares to get serious. The snake itself goes after Naruto as Naruto and the snake begin jumping through the forest trees, the snake wrapping itself around tree trunks trying to catch Naruto. So Naruto screams for Sasuke to hold off that other guy while he's busy, and just keep him busy for a while. Sasuke tells him he'll defeat him before he can even defeat that snake buddy of his. Just at that point, Sasuke gets serious as he goes rushing towards Orochimaru, quickly forming the fireball jutsu hand signs and casting one directly in front of Orochimaru's face. Orochimaru dives out of the way pretty easily from this attack, and Sasuke gets fancy with his shuriken as well as ninja tools. He wraps wire around Orochimaru's body, holding him in place, and then uses the Phoenix Flower Jutsu, using up quite a bit of his chakra, to completely envelop Orochimaru in his flames. Orochimaru screams in pain as he gets completely killed off by the fire. Now, at this point, Sasuke goes in to go and finish him off, as Orochimaru's body is standing there seemingly lifeless. However, at that point, Naruto finishes off the snake with a giant smash, as he goes underneath using an uppercut, slamming the snake directly at the bottom of its belly, causing it to rip in half from the strength of his punch, using only about 10% of One For All. Naruto quickly jumps down as he uses aerodynamic movements and runs down the side of the tree, jumping and landing next to Sasuke and Sakura. Orochimaru suddenly appears and bites Sasuke on the neck, seemingly out of nowhere, as then Orochimaru says that he'll fight the Nine-Tails brat. Naruto, who actually doesn't know too much about this yet, as he hasn't really had to rely on that power too much, is about to figure out for real what this ability is, as Orochimaru pushes Naruto even harder than he has ever been pushed before. Naruto is pushing his One For All to around 30% now as his body is beginning to strain. Naruto and Orochimaru are going at it fist to fist. Naruto's actual punches and kicks and taijutsu are faster and stronger than Orochimaru at this point. Naruto comes in flying with a spinning axe blade kick as he chops directly down on top of Orochimaru's shoulder, causing the left side of Orochimaru's body to contort as it bends towards the ground. Orochimaru gags a bit as he feels the air leave his system and he can't breathe for a second. Naruto goes with an uppercut, then punching him into the air. As Naruto is breathing heavily, he's slowly boosting his One For All even higher, as his muscles become even more tensed. Naruto's eyes begin to look strained as suddenly orange chakra begins to flow out throughout him, as his normal chakra reserves are being drained down. The Kyuubi's decide to lend a little bit of aid to the rage that he can feel for Orochimaru hurting his comrade. Now, at that point, Orochimaru decides he has to seal the Kyuubi's seal a bit tighter. As Naruto uses his Kyuubi-enhanced One For All state, he then quickly attacks towards Orochimaru, outspeeding him and blitzing towards him, as he quickly comes down with a quick kick on top of his head, causing Orochimaru to go flying down into the tree forest floor below. At that point, Orochimaru decides to retreat as he quickly makes a clone that distracts Naruto for a bit, drawing him out of the reach of Sakura and Sasuke. Naruto is quickly surrounded as Orochimaru uses the clone jutsu, as well as some shadow clones mixed in. He quickly has one of the shadow clones with more chakra, so Naruto thinks it's himself. At that point, Naruto rushes forward to finish off Orochimaru, when Orochimaru comes out of nowhere, the real one, and tightly grabs his seal with a 5-pronged sealing jutsu. He tightens the seal so the Kyuubi's chakra flows back inside of himself. And at that point, Naruto, who's feeling exhausted, feels his muscles creak and strain, as he screams as he loses his ligaments begin to rip in half. Naruto falls to the ground as his muscles and body are contorting. Breathing heavily, he falls to the ground unconscious, twitching slowly. Orochimaru laughs as he leaves and says that he'll see him again, probably. Ninetales brat. At that point, he leaves and says that he'll see Sasuke as well. Sakura rushes over to where she heard the commotion and finds Naruto. There she picks him and Sasuke up as she drags the two towards the actual grotto that they were in before. After a while, Sakura faces the three Sound Ninja and Rock Lee comes in to save her. Rock Lee feels more compelled to save Naruto and his team because Naruto is a comrade of his and is also a student of Guy Sensei just like himself. As he sees Naruto's body in such bad shape, he wonders if Naruto could have actually accessed one of the gates. Sakura tells him that Naruto actually was using his special Kekkei Genkai, and he overloaded himself when he was fighting this really strong guy, and so he fell to the ground when she found him, and she's just been like that the entire time. When they're fighting, Rock Lee as well, eventually Sasuke wakes up as well as having the same interaction with the curse mark. Naruto eventually wakes up as well as he sees what occurred, and Sasuke relaxes, causing the curse mark to go back inside of himself. One of the Sound Ninja escape as they head towards the tower, successfully making it there with their scrolls, and Naruto and his team successfully have Orochimaru's scroll that he had given them. Thankfully, by the time that they make it out of there, Rock Lee says goodbye, and Naruto and his team continue forward. At that point, Naruto and Team 7 head towards the tower where they meet Kabuto and fight through the Mist Ninja, easily dispatching them. As they get into the actual tower itself, they thank Kabuto for his assistance, and he tells them it's no problem at all. At that point then, they decide to become a little bit more relaxed as they take a seat on the floor laying against the wall. Iruka-sensei appears out of nowhere congratulating them when he sees that Naruto is in bad shape. Naruto's body looks completely bruised all over, like he got hit by a truck. Naruto is just wincing in pain as he had to walk all the way to the tower. He tells him that he's fine, that he just needs to relax for a bit. Before the next exam, some medical ninja are called in as they heal his body and pull out any extra carbon dioxide or any muscles that they relax. Sakura first sees medical ninjutsu for the first time as Kabuto actually starts assisting in this as well. With Kabuto's medical ninjutsu, Naruto is assisted and he's back to normal. Kabuto tells him he'll see him later and that he did a good job. Naruto thanks him for the help as he quickly moves his arm up and down and feels no pain. And then Kabuto disappears off into the crowds. Naruto is then introduced to the new challenge as they decide to have a tournament. Now we begin with Naruto versus Kiba. As Naruto and Kiba begin to fight, Hinata's watching from the side steps, hoping secretly in her heart that Naruto will win, but also rooting for Kiba as well. At that point then, Naruto and Kiba get into the fight. Kiba tells Naruto that even though he's a little bit stronger and faster than him, that won't mean much when he has more technique on his side. Naruto glassy says, "Is that so?" At that point, he then quickly forms a transformation jutsu as he creates the sexy jutsu, distracting Kiba. At that point, Naruto then rushes forward, activating One for All in his entire body. He quickly disappears from Kiba's vision as he appears directly behind him, seemingly jumping from midair. As Naruto is flying down from the air above, Kiba just quickly decides to use his Fang over Fang attack at Naruto. As him and Akamaru go charging at Naruto, Naruto says that he can do that too as he starts spinning his body at a fast speed. The three forces all combine as Akamaru and Kiba versus Naruto's One for all start spinning together as a giant tornado of electricity, orange electricity from Naruto, and wind from Kiba and Akamaru. At that point, Naruto pushes all of his strength as he rises the percentage of One for All from 5% all the way to 15%. As he pushes his body to 15%, suddenly more electricity comes sparking out of the tornado, as Kiba and Akamaru are completely enveloped by Naruto's attack. Kiba and Akamaru are sent flying as they go spinning out of control, hitting the wall and being knocked out. Naruto stands up with his hand in the air, saying that he is the victor. Everyone's impressed, and especially Sasuke, who didn't even realize that Naruto had the ability to copy jutsu using his own body. Naruto then walks out of the arena telling Kiba it was a good fight. Hinata, noticing that Naruto has a few scratches on him, offers the same cream that she did before and helps with some ointment. Naruto thanks her and Hinata blushes as Naruto goes back to his group and they wait for the next fight. After a while, we have Tenten and Tamari's fight, and then continue on from there, we see Sasuke's fight against the Sound Ninja who hadn't attacked them. Sasuke feels a pain in his neck as he hasn't been able to actually fix his curse mark yet with Kakashi, and he fights just like in the original and wins. At that point, the rest of the matches can proceed as normal except for one. As we get into the fight with Rock Lee and Gaara, Naruto is cheering for Rock Lee even harder than before. And as Gaara and Rock Lee are fighting, and it seems that Rock Lee has won, and Gaara's about to crush his leg, suddenly Naruto's eyes fill up with a fear and terror like never before. Naruto instinctively activates 100% of One For All, unknown to him. And at that point, after using that, he quickly teleports seemingly out of view, a bright orange flash of electricity, pulling Rock Lee out of the way as his entire body and his hair rising, looking similar to Deku when he was in 100% form against Overhaul. For that split second, he saves Rock Lee, and just as he does so, his body deactivates and he feels his One For All drain, as he feels like he can't use it again for some time. He breathes heavily as his body, on instinct alone, just saved his friend. He wonders if he could actually use that power at his own free will, but he doubts it. Just using 50% of it for long periods of time can damage him like it did in the forest. Naruto asks Rock Lee if he's alright, and he says so. Guy Sensei jumps in as well as the rest, telling Gaara that the fight was over already. Gaara scoffs as he walks away, looking at Naruto, impressed with how fast he was. It was so fast that it seemed to be faster than the sound barrier. There was no way that he could have gone from the railing all the way to Rock Lee in just such a short amount of time, with Gaara's sand being literally a foot away from him. Naruto is looking forward to the next few fights, and as Naruto gets back up holding Rock Lee, he hopes that he doesn't have to fight anyone else for the next bit, as he's done. As Naruto sits down relaxing, hoping that he can hopefully regain his chakra pool so he can activate One For All again if he has to. He then sees the fight between Hinata and Neji. As Neji and Hinata begin to fight, Naruto's eyes open wide as he realizes what's going on. Neji is basically bullying Hinata, as he completely is destroying her just like in the original. Naruto completely crunches his hand together as he looks down at the slaughter that's going down beneath him. As Hinata's going down, looking like she just got completely destroyed by Neji's taijutsu, Naruto then screams as he looks down at Neji, telling him that hard work can easily outpace natural talent, and that if you don't nurture that talent that you're given, then there's no way you can become strong. Neji looks at him with his cold Byakugan-filled eyes, as he tells Naruto that the power that he has was a gift from his family that he was born into, destiny. It wasn't something he worked to achieve, so he has no right to talk to him as if though he's on the side of that ability, or that his abilities are completely hard work gained or not natural. Naruto punches his fist into the railing, causing it to bend as he screams down at Neji, telling him that that's not how it works, and that in order to grow a power for it to actually be strong, even if you do have it, you have to work at it and train it just like he has. Naruto thinks back to the times where he, Might Guy, and Rock Lee were training together before the Land of Waves mission, and how Naruto's body had gotten strong enough for him to even push it to the limits he's never seen before. Naruto says that he's going to access 100% of his power fully someday, and when he does, he's going to become the strongest ninja in the Leaf Village, as well as become the Hokage. He points at Neji Hyuga and says that next time they meet, he's going to absolutely crush him in battle, and show him that his power that was given to him, that he's been working to nurture and grow over the past few months, is way stronger than his Byakugan, which had also been given to him. At this point, Neji and Naruto look to each other, as Rock Lee is giving a thumbs up to Naruto, basically giving him his will and his strength, knowing that Naruto also represents the training that Might Guy Sensei put into them. At that point now, the Chunin exams, the second stage is pretty much over. Now, as they announce the winners for each match, they say who will be participating in what tournament, and that they'll be participating in another tournament. However, this one will be not the preliminary matches, but the real thing in front of all of the nations. Naruto's excited as he asks when it's going to start, and they say that they have 1 month to prepare and train. At this point, Naruto's excited, and as he and Team 7 leave, Kakashi, while Naruto was watching this fight, had given Sasuke the seal on his curse mark. Orochimaru had intercepted him, and now Kakashi was worried about what's going on. Sasuke himself is feeling much better as him and Kakashi leave the village to begin to train. Naruto is so excited to start training, and so Naruto now has to look for someone to train him. Ibisu Sensei wasn't actually Naruto's first idea in mind. Instead, Naruto decides that he's gonna go train with... Naruto walks out of the Chunin exam building, just afterwards completing it. He's now excited for the next challenges. He's convinced that using One For All, he can definitely destroy the Chunin exams and become the most powerful Chunin of his entire grade, proving all the girls wrong, as well as the whole Leaf Village, that he's going to become the Hokage someday. And so, Naruto, as he heads out, walks off into the village, preparing to go to Ichiraku Ramen to get a nice after-fight snack, as well as think about what he's going to do for the next few days. After he gets to Ichiraku, he enjoys a nice, tasty, delectable, juicy ramen bowl. After finishing up the noodles and the miso pork, he gives the bowl as it makes a clatter back to Toichi, who thanks Naruto as he tips his hat to him as Naruto pays him the money. Naruto walks back, and as he looks towards the distance, he sees Kakashi walking off with Sasuke. Kakashi-sensei! Oh, hey Naruto, what's up? It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a few days actually since the Chunin exams part 1 and 2 had taken place. I mean, the first 2 exams of the Chunin exam had taken place. Sasuke and Kakashi turn back as they look towards Naruto. Naruto looks into Kakashi's eyes and asks him, Kakashi-sensei, will you train me during this next month while I'm waiting for the next part of the exams? You and Guy-sensei had been working with me before when I've been training on the time before when we were doing the D-rank missions, and I want to still get stronger. And I know you told me that I shouldn't be going over 50% of what I can do, but I think that if I can get stronger, like what I did back then during the Land of Waves mission. We have a flashback to Naruto when he recalls the slight glimpse of the Kyuubi chakra, enhancing his body to the point where he was healing faster than One For All could damage him. I think I could handle maybe even higher than 50%, maybe even 70%. Kakashi puts a hand on Naruto's shoulder and tells him that, unfortunately, he is busy with training Sasuke. However, he does have another teacher he had in mind for him, and he directs him towards Ibisu-sensei. Naruto is kind of upset about this and tells Kakashi what he thinks, and says that he's favoriting Sasuke, which is not fair as he should be treating all of his teammates equally. Kakashi smiles and laughs and tells him that this way they can learn different jutsu as well as grow in their own path. Sasuke says bye loser as he walks away. He then turns back quickly and tells Naruto he did a really good job in the exams, but he's still gonna outshine him next time. As Sasuke smiles as he turns away. Naruto feels something inside of him as he just feels acknowledged for the first time, and he smiles a little bit, feeling a crack in his shell from all the years of abandonment that he had from the villagers as well as the neglect from everyone in the Leaf Village. He shakes out of this though as he then thinks that as he's getting back to training. Naruto, did you hear me? I said your chakra control is terrible. What? Sorry, what did you say, Ibisu-sensei? You really weren't paying attention again? Fine, let's go back over it. Naruto, what you're doing with your chakra is you're enhancing it, right? Well, yeah. Well, with your Kekkei Genkai, One For All, you called it, your family's Kekkei Genkai, apparently. Well, apparently it's supposed to boost all of your stats, correct? Yes, including your chakra pool as well as your jutsu's potency. The problem with this is that when you're using it, it's much harder to control larger amounts of chakra in your body. That's why your muscles in your body get all tensed up, as well as damaged when you use a certain higher percentage of One For All, correct? Naruto nods as he thinks about this. I want you to train for the next month without using your power, without using that Kekkei Genkai of yours. Naruto is confused at first and asks what he means, when Ibisu explains that even without using that ability that you have, your basic chakra pool should be plenty difficult for you to manipulate already. If you can master using your already normal levels of chakra control, and then at that point, you can perhaps even manipulate them at a higher level. So, for example, if you were to control your chakra to the point where you could walk on water, as Ibisu steps on the lake, then your skill would increase to the point where when you're using One For All, that it'd be far easier to control your chakra, because it boosts all your stats, which would include chakra control, am I right? Naruto finally gets the clicks in his head. So you're saying that the more I work on something, the more I'll get boosted by my stats with my Kekkei Genkai? Yes, but I don't know too much about One For All in general. I only know that before he says anything, Ibisu covers his mouth as nothing as he stops himself. What were you saying? What about One For All? Nothing, Naruto. Ibisu thinks back to the days during the last Great Ninja War, when the one known as the Yellow Flash was so fast, without using any jutsu in fact, that he could basically teleport across the field. Combined with his flying Raijin attack, he was basically unstoppable, faster than the speed of light almost. His attacks flew through the air, and his strength and power were incredible. His size and strength were only determined almost comparable to the Raikage. Ibisu then snaps out as he stops thinking about Minato Namikaze, the most powerful wielder of One For All of all time. He looks down to Naruto and thinks about the secret that all the special Jonin, including himself, know about. He then sighs as he doesn't see any resemblance with this kid and decides that he'll give him a try, though. Alright, I think you should work on your chakra control now. I'm gonna go and work with Konohamaru on some stuff, as the third Hokage instructed me to. Alright then, I'm gonna go train on that. See you later, Ibisu-sensei. Naruto then leaves as he heads into the town. There, he sees something rather interesting. He sees Guy Sensei training on his own, and as Guy walks away, Naruto runs up to him asking if he wants to train. Guy then tells him he's sorry, Naruto, but he has to go work with Lee and make sure that he's alright. He's actually going over to the hospital to visit him as he does his normal arm workouts. Naruto sighs and then thinks he should go check on Lee as well, then thinking that he'll find something else to do. Alright, see you later then, Bushy Brows. He then runs away as he finds Jiraiya the Gallant. As he walks around the corner, he then sees smoke rising and he hears a girl scream. As he rushes around to see what's wrong, seeing Jiraiya with a large red mark across his face from a girl slapping him. She's covering herself as she has a bath towel wrapped around her, and Jiraiya's laughing himself silly. He then quickly drops the binoculars, seeing Naruto, and rushes off as Naruto sees him use a jutsu to escape. Hey, what was that guy? He was just a pervert. I would stay away from him if I were you, kid. Oh wait, it's that nine-tailed brat. Never mind. Anyway, Naruto ignores this as he heads off to follow after this guy who seemed pretty interesting to him. As he eventually catches up to Jiraiya using his speed and aerodynamic movement with One For All, he actually catches up using around 5%. Jiraiya hears something as he hears the crackling of lightning and turns around to see Naruto's body covered with orange electricity. He then thinks backly to a memory that he had a long time ago of a young Minato Namikaze rushing after him using his own One For All. He then immediately realizes that this is Naruto, his own godson. Jiraiya stops where he is moving and looks back to Naruto, asking who he is, playing coy. Naruto laughs as he tells him that his name is Naruto Uzumaki, and he's going to become the next Hokage of the Leaf Village someday, and that this guy better not be causing any trouble for any of the villagers. Jiraiya smiles. He then tells him that, well, his name's Jiraiya. Jiraiya, the legendary Sannin. Naruto has no idea what this is and just tells him that he seems strong. Jiraiya then asks him what he's doing there, and Naruto tells him that he's been hoping to train with someone, but everyone seems pretty busy. Jiraiya tells him that he has nothing going on and that it might be fun to work out with him for a while. Naruto laughs and tells him that it'll be a blast as they head over to the spa again to work on Naruto's chakra control. Naruto tells Jiraiya exactly what Ibisu-sensei had thought, and as he tells him, Jiraiya nods his head thinking that that was a good thought. He tells him that a little bit more about One For All, as he explains that the power of One For All isn't so unique as you might think. It's more of a combined attack, if I were to explain it. The reason that you can't use it to its full potency isn't necessarily that your body, just because your body can't handle it. I would say that in my experience with what I know of the ability, that One For All takes a shred of the user's soul when it's passed on. This gives the person's abilities as well as powers transferred a sliver of each into that power. So every time it's passed on, it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. In the conditions, you could probably even learn some of the past lost jutsu from one of the users that are connected to you now. Naruto thinks about this, and then as he's quiet for a while, he looks up asking Jiraiya, "How do you know so much about my family's Kekkei Genkai? I never met them, my mom or dad." He looks down as his hair falls over his eyes. I never knew who my dad or mom were, but no one ever talks about them to me. I even asked the old man, the third Hokage, and he just looked at me and said it didn't matter that much. But this, as he holds his hand up and then lightning flows across it, this seems like a pretty big deal. And I know a lot of people know about it for some reason, but I'm gonna figure it out one day. You'll see. You'll all see. Jiraiya smiles as he looks to Naruto, thinking about how much he doesn't understand just yet, and that someday when he's older, he'll tell him the whole story. Alright, Naruto. Well, I think it's about time we get out of here and begin testing your other abilities. What? Well, first things first, I think you'd like to learn some new jutsu, weren't you? Oh yeah, that sounds awesome! Jiraiya and Naruto head out of the actual town as they head off into the mountains. As Naruto and Jiraiya head off to the mountainside, Naruto finds the ravine that he would be eventually thrown into. Jiraiya tells him to take a step back as he tells him that there's a few things he'd like him to do first. Jiraiya pulls the scroll out as it shows the Toad summoning scroll. Well, first things first, Naruto. I'd like you to place your hand on this scroll and sign it. This will give you a summoning contract so you can summon the Toads from Mount Miyaboku. And then, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to practice your summoning. Naruto's confused as Jiraiya smiles, getting the thumbs up. Well, Naruto, you already know about the fox creature inside of you, right? Naruto thinks back to the battle in the Land of Waves. Yeah, that thing was awesome. It gave me so much power, and when I used One For All combined with its ability, for some reason my body didn't hurt, and I could use One For All to an even higher capacity. It was incredible. I felt exhilarated. Jiraiya nods and tells him that the abilities of the QB that he has gives him a healing regenerative ability that's insanely high, which counteracts One For All's degenerative abilities, making it almost as if a perfect union. Our goal during this month, Naruto, is for you to gain a bit of a hold on that fox's chakra. If you can combine the fox's chakra with your own, you'll be an unstoppable war machine. One of the best shinobi around, I dare say. And also one of my best students. Jiraiya gives a thumbs up. Naruto then tells him that if he's nice, he might show him the sexy jutsu again. Jiraiya has blood fall off his nose. He thinks of Naruto's sexy jutsu and tells him to get on with it, as Naruto laughs, creating the sexy jutsu. Naruto then begins working on the summoning jutsu with Jiraiya, as he eventually gets the hang of it to the point where Jiraiya thinks he's ready. Alright, Naruto, we gotta drain all of your normal chakra out. So this is what we're gonna do. Alright, Naruto, I want you to run one for all as high of a percentage as you can. This will slowly wear away your base chakra as it uses stamina up. Naruto, who's never tried this before, runs One For All across his entire body as he fulfills himself with One For All's boosting abilities. He feels his chakra pool skyrise as he hits around his current goal that he can basically hit of 25%. 25%, or he can hit around 50% if he pushes himself a bit. 25% is what he would feel comfortable moving with without having any issues. He slowly sits there for 30 minutes, just relaxing, as he feels what Jiraiya is talking about. Utilizing One For All for extended periods of time for some reason lowers his stamina and is causing his normal chakra pool to drain. Suddenly, One For All flickers out as it suddenly stops, running out of something to power itself as a multiplier. Naruto, after about that hour of waiting, then tells Jiraiya that he's out of his normal chakra. Jiraiya nods and tells him it's time, as he picks up Naruto and throws him down into the ravine. Naruto gets prepared as he bites his thumb, blood coming from it. He then throws his hand down and creates the summoning jutsu. Summoning jutsu! Alright, Fox, it's time to pay up that chakra rent. Give it some to me right now. Kurama gently obliges as he doesn't want to die from falling off a cliff, even though he would be reborn. Suddenly, the chakra of the fox fills out through all of Naruto's body, and he feels exhilarated, an animalistic energy filling him and making his eyes spark. Suddenly, the chakra forms into the shape of a toad as it gains form physically. Then, the great toad, Gamabunta, grabs into the sides of the ravine as he saves himself and Naruto from a fall. Hey kid, what are you summoning me here for? Couldn't have been you, right? Naruto looks down to see him and tells him that was him, alright. Gamabunta sighs as he pulls himself up, thinking Jiraiya's got himself a student again. Now that that's taken place, Naruto as well as Jiraiya would begin working on it, as Gamabunta tells him that if he wants to seriously summon him, then he's gonna have to stand on his back for one whole day. Naruto punches his fist together and tells him that he's ready for anything, as he uses his chakra control and tries to grab onto his back, holding as tight as possible. Naruto sits on and grits through it all, being a true gutsy ninja. As he gets off of the toad, he feels a bit sick as he tells Gamabunta that was easy, feeling a little woozy from that. Gamabunta laughs. He tells him that I guess that Naruto can call him boss now. Naruto desummons Gamabunta and then tells Jiraiya that he's wiped out. Jiraiya laughs as he then puts Naruto down as Naruto falls asleep on his lap. Naruto looks up to see the night sky later as Jiraiya's leaning back against the tree, completely passed out as well. and Naruto then falls back to sleep. That's the end of part 7 for What If Naruto Had One for All. But now, as I said, we're going to get into part 8 right now. So, it's been a few days since Naruto summoned Gamabunta, and he's gained a little bit better, a bit of a hang on the summoning jutsu, and he's not too sure about using Kurama's chakra just of yet. Although to him now, he just knows him as the Nine Tails. Jiraiya himself is rather impressed with Naruto's growth speed, and is truly impressed with Naruto's handle over his Kekkei. Naruto, who has terrible chakra control, for some reason is unnatural with using One for All. It's way easier for him than using the Fox's chakra, as it feels warm, and when Naruto uses it, he feels cool, and like when Sasuke or Kakashi uses their Sharingan, it's something that makes Naruto feel special, you know? Anyway, Naruto, after his completion of training for the month with Jiraiya, then tells Jiraiya he's got to head back for the Chunin exams. Jiraiya tells him that he'll see him there and good luck on becoming a Chunin. Anyway, now Naruto gets out of the forest as he waves goodbye to the Toad Sage. As Naruto heads back to the arena, Naruto is prepared to see who he's going to be fighting this tournament. As Naruto walks down into the arena, he then notices that his clothes are a bit dirty and ragged from after all the training. It doesn't seem to bother him that much though. Sakura is sitting in the stands as she turns and sees Naruto, waving to him as Naruto waves back saying hi, and that's been a while. At this point, Naruto sits down next to Sakura and asks how it's going. Sakura, who's busy thinking about Sasuke, snaps back out of him and tells Naruto that she's been training real hard and that she thinks she's finally caught up to Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto says congrats on that and asks what she did. Oh, well, I didn't really do much of anything since I'm not in this tournament, but I did work on a novel that I was writing. Well, that's cool. Anyway, what were you doing? What were you writing about? The stories of Sasuke and Sakura. The sequel. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get right into the actual exam. Sakura is kind of put down as Naruto is more excited about the Chunin exams. Sakura sighs and thinks about her dreams of Sasuke, now fading out of the background. Now Naruto hops down to the arena with the rest of the companions that he'll be battling against and sees the markers. I'll be fighting against Neji Hyuga. Neji and Naruto look at each other as Naruto thinks that this is it. This is what he's been training for, to avenge Hinata as well as his friend Lee, and prove that Gai Sensei's teachings were correct, as well as that having a power doesn't necessarily make it wieldable, and using it properly is what gives someone the advantage. Shikamaru would eventually have his fight with Temari before the large fight, which everyone's been waiting for actually, between Naruto Uzumaki and Neji Hyuga. After Shikamaru's fight, he thinks what a drag that he had to lose to a girl, but everyone, including in the stands, are impressed by his thoughtfulness and foresight. Shikamaru had used his intelligence to know that when to give up from a fight, and that was a very important trait in a ninja. Naruto himself now hops into the arena, prepared to fight to prove that he can become a Chunin. And as he walks into the fight, he feels something strange inside of him, a flicker or spark, like someone patting him on the shoulder. He turns around and just for an instant sees hundreds of people from the past, from the far past, who are shaded out, and people from the more modern time who are patting him and wishing him good luck. He quickly shakes his head as they disappear quickly, and Naruto wonders what that was all about. Though unknown to him, it was One for All giving him his best shot, a good luck almost. As Naruto is getting into the fight, he then stands there across from Neji, locked eyes with him. As everyone is expecting Neji Hyuga to absolutely destroy the Nine Tails brat, suddenly the announcer, the Chunin, calls out the battle. Let the battle begin in 3, 2, 1, fight. Naruto dashes forward, quickly using his own chakra to push off the ground, putting chakra into his feet and legs. Neji, who activated his Byakugan initially at almost instant breakneck pace, then jumps out of the way as he then swipes at Naruto with a gentle fist attack, hitting his shoulder. Naruto then laughs as he thinks of how he's going to get out of this, knowing that he just got hit by an attack. Naruto then falls back, creating shadow clones, and they all begin rushing towards Neji. As Neji then takes them out one by one individually with little to no effort, eventually using his an initial 3D defense from the Byakugan Gentle Fist style, which took a lot of them out, 5 in fact. Naruto takes a few steps back and then decides on what he should do next, strategizing. He then currently runs away from Neji, a good fair distance, and then he decides, alright body, don't fail me now, let's do this. Naruto activates One for All up to 20%, and then just wonders if he can still do this. He looks at Neji and begins to pull his finger back into a flicking position. Neji laughs from across the arena as everyone else in the stands begin to laugh as well. What are you gonna do, flick me to death? And suddenly, Neji is caught off guard when a burst of wind slams him in the face. Naruto flicks his finger, and as he does so, charging One for All into his hand, a burst of air comes shooting out of it like an air cannon, slamming into Neji as he goes flying backwards. Everyone in the arena is shocked, especially Hiruzen, as well as a lot of the Leaf Ninja. They're wondering if he used a hand seal. Neji looks back and wonders, was that the gentle air? Was that an air fist? Was that an air palm bullet? What was that? Now, Neji, who's still being outmatched by Naruto from this distance, realizes his mistake. Naruto knew, using his strategy, that Neji himself was a close combat fighter, which was similar to Naruto's style. If Naruto could use One for All in an offensive maneuver from a long-range attack, Neji wouldn't have anything he could do. Neji grits his teeth as he didn't think Naruto would have this idea, or foresight and even to think of it. Naruto laughs, thinking that he caught him off guard, as he continues flicking his fingers as fast as possible, causing explosions of air to hit the ground around Neji, as well as Neji himself. Naruto then creates shadow clones who all rush around the sides of the arena, quickly activating One for All inside of all of them. They then begin to use their own flicking attacks as they shoot air cans at Neji. The real Naruto then goes rushing in. As he rushes in towards Neji, he then powers up One for All up to 25%, speeding his movements up so that a blitz of energy of orange lightning goes crackling around him. His body becomes almost pure energy as he goes flying off a kick towards Neji, slamming Neji in the skull as Neji goes flying back. Neji then laughs as he thinks that this is all he can do, using his 3D palm defense, causing all of the air bolts to be deflected and hitting the clones, deactivating them. Neji then uses his 64 trigram palm and then tells Naruto it's over, hitting all of Naruto's chakra points at once. Naruto's One for All is shut down as well as the QB spot is hit. As Naruto falls to the ground, unable to move, they begin to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Suddenly, before one hits, the announcer's about to say so, and that Naruto is out. Naruto begins to stand, as a large pulse of electricity begins to cover his entire body. His entire body begins to feel with the red energy, surrounding his eyes, face, nose, everywhere. Naruto forces himself to stand, as One for All, using its power and overwhelming chakra supply, overwhelms all of his chakra points and forcefully opens them, including his seal on the QB. As soon as this happens, Naruto feels the experience of something he never felt before. Just pure power. The QB's seal, with just a bit unlocked from One for All's strength, then allows the QB to give Naruto chakra. Naruto feels his body covered with red energy, as Neji, using his Byakugan, sees the outline of an orange fox crackling with electricity over its fur begin to glow over Naruto's body. Naruto roars as his teeth grow a bit in expansion, and the One for All that he already has activated at 25% is boosting his QB as well as his own chakra, causing his power to be higher than it's ever been. Naruto looks at Neji and then tells him that no matter what, this fight's over now. Naruto then blitzes forward, a burst of red and orange energy curving around the arena as he flies around the walls. Naruto goes bouncing from wall to wall, so aerodynamic as he jumps through the air, confusing Neji and surrounding him. As Neji tries to use his defense, Naruto jumps directly at the attack, and as he does so, he then begins to pull his fist back. Naruto, Uzumaki, 5K barrage! Naruto created 50 shadow clones as they all surround Neji and begin to hit Neji from all sides, using his own version of the 64 palms attack. Naruto says, Naruto, 5K barrage! Using all 50 of his shadow clones at One for All speed, using the QB's enhancement, he hits all of the shadow clones, including himself, hit 100 punches on Neji. Neji's body begins to actually have cave-ins and dents as bruises as well as bones begin to shatter and break across his face. Naruto feels his hands coated in blood as the red thick liquid drips to the sandy ground. Neji falls back after the attack as Naruto deactivates all of his shadow clones as well as One For All and his QB-filled chakra, causing him to go back to his normal state. Naruto then suddenly feels relaxed as the rest of the QB chakra flows back inside of the seal, and his body has no repercussions from using One For All so much frequently. Neji then sits on the ground, laying back and barely breathing. Neji coughs up blood as he feels one of his lungs collapsing. Naruto then quickly calls in medical aid as they grab Neji and pull him into the medical office, beginning to work on him with medical ninjutsu immediately. Naruto could have killed him if he'd gone all out. Naruto not using most of his strength in that battle and limiting himself to 25% of One For All had actually worked out for the better. Naruto looked back to Neji, and then as he's being taken away on the stroker, tells him that, "Neji, for the past month I've been training solely for the reason to beat you. And I just want to let you know one thing. That training that Bushy Brows, Rock Lee, has been doing, he could have beaten you just as bad as I did, or even more." As Naruto sees Neji taken away. Gaara, who saw Naruto's battle with Neji, his interest completely peaked as he saw Naruto's ferocious power. Naruto climbs up into the stands as Sakura's eyes are basically rolling out of her head out of surprise and shock. Naruto laughs as he then tells her that was a pretty strong fight and that Neji was doing really well, and that if he hadn't used that attack on him, the 64 palms, he probably might have actually won the fight. Naruto thinks about what had occurred during that moment, when the One For All had activated itself on his own. Naruto hadn't even used his chakra to activate his Kekkei Genkai. It seemed like it had its own mind of its own, pushing Naruto to win and telling him that he could go on, and never to give up. Naruto smiles when suddenly he sees Sasuke appear, as Gaara's fight with Sasuke is about to begin. As you all know, last time, Naruto had his chakra points unlocked by Neji, which completely broke all of his limiters, allowing him to use the QB's seal power, as well as One For All, which counteracted each other, giving Naruto basically an infinite amount of power. This is when he used the shadow clones to completely destroy Neji, causing him to be in severe medical help, which he's now in the hospital getting treatment for. Now, Naruto is in the stands and he feels pretty bad. His chakra points have all sealed up again, and so his rage and hatred that has been given to him by the QB is completely sealed again. Now that this has happened, though, Naruto feels terrible about what he did to Neji, not thinking that he wanted to hurt him that bad and that he had only wanted to simply take him out of the fight. Gaara thinks that Naruto did this on purpose, though, and thinks that he's like himself, taking vengeance on those who he doesn't like. Gaara's and Sasuke's fight would come up inevitably rather soon. This is when Sasuke comes down to the arena, his Sharingan activated, as the announcer starts to call the announcement for the round beginning to start. 3, 2, 1, begin. Sasuke begins sliding down the side of the wall as Gaara had pushed him back. As Sasuke begins running down the wall, his speed increasing from gravity, increasing his weight as well as power. He then begins to activate lightning release in his hands, and as he does so, he feels a numb, tingling feeling across his fingers and skin. As this occurs, the Chidori begins to form, the piercing blade weapon of 1,000 birds. As Naruto watches this, he's impressed with the actual firepower of this weapon, and thinks that he didn't know that Kakashi could actually do something like that. As Sasuke comes charging down the wall, he then is about to pierce Gaara. Gaara's sand begins to form into a ginormous sand shield, which covers his entire body. Naruto then watches as Sasuke stabs directly into Gaara's sand shield, penetrating through it and actually damaging Gaara. Gaara begins to see his own blood and is enraged, and also just has no idea what's going on when it comes to his own pain. This is the first time he's felt actual pain in years, and so he begins to go on a rampage. As Gaara leaves the actual Leaf Village itself, this is when the Konoha Crush plan gets implemented. As the Genjutsu begins to fall over the entire arena, Naruto, who's unknowing to him has One For All still activated, is completely blocked from the Genjutsu, meaning that he's not affected by the Genjutsu in any way, and is surprisingly still standing. Sakura and him wake up the rest of the Genin and tell them that they have to get on their way. Naruto pushes One for All across his body to 15% and says he'll go after Sasuke. Naruto then jumps into the wall using chakra control to walk along it as he rushes out of the hole Gaara made, running through the forest. We see a blur of orange lightning streaking through the forest as Naruto begins to head towards where he believes Sasuke and Gaara might be. As he begins heading forward, he then feels something inside of his own head. It's, unknown to him, the last holder of One for All, his father, giving him a bit of sensory type ability just for a while so he can go and find his prey easier. Naruto unknowingly is actually able to feel his senses heightening. His sense of smell as well as taste, touch, and sight have all increased to sharpening levels. Naruto is way faster as he bounces from tree to tree, getting over to where Sasuke and Gaara are fighting. Sasuke has some cuts and bruises on him, and Gaara the same. Gaara's sand arm from Shikaku is beginning to form on his left arm, and as this is occurring, Gaara's madness is only increasing. Naruto is kind of interested and also a bit terrified of why Gaara looks like that, as well as what terrifying chakra he can feel coming off of him. Sasuke then tells Naruto to stay out of it, as he has to be strong enough to take out this guy, where he'll never be able to kill that certain someone, his brother Itachi. Naruto watches for a while as Sasuke is getting pummeled by Gaara. He then asks Sasuke and tells him that he's his friend and he can't bear to watch this anymore, as he goes flying into the battle. As Naruto comes rushing at Gaara, Gaara's sand shield immediately tries to defend him. Naruto's raw power of his fist, though, punches directly through the sand shield, causing a burst of sand to go flying, along with severe high wind pressure. The wind pressure pushes Gaara and his own sand jar back into the tree, causing the jar to shatter. As this occurs, the sand falls on the forest floor, and Gaara begins to get even more angry. Gaara begins to summon sand across him as he shoots sand bullets towards Sakura, who just arrived at the battlefield. Naruto, knowing that he has only one thing he can do, jumps in front of the way. As Naruto is about to take the full impact of the entire sand bullets that are being shot at Sakura in order to save her, Sakura is knocked out from Gaara's attack. Sasuke, who's on the ground, who can't do anything now, watches as Naruto is pierced by 3 of the sand bullets. As the sand bullets penetrate into Naruto's back, he mouths out pain as blood shoots out of his mouth, as well as his nose, and he begins to feel pain shooting out of the back of his spine. Naruto struggles his way up as lightning begins to arc across his body even faster, generating more chakra for him to use. Naruto is relying purely on chakra to keep him going now, as he's running One for All rampant. As he's doing this, the Kyuubi is becoming agitated from such a high chakra flow, and is beginning to feel a bit pissed off again, even though he just lended Naruto some chakra in that fight against Neji. As Naruto begins to fight against Gaara with more seriousness, the Kyuubi notices that he's fighting the One Tail, and decides to help Naruto out. Naruto's One for All is actually beginning to hurt his body as the power in it is beginning to overrun him. The Kyuubi begins to give him power as it heals his body, which Naruto is thankful for, unknowingly that the Kyuubi is doing this though. He's jumping from tree to tree, dodging Gaara's attacks. Naruto then jumps directly towards Gaara and hops off his back. As he hops off of Gaara's back, he then places an explosive tag on it, causing Gaara's back to explode. Gaara falls face forward as he pulls himself up, sand beginning to swirl around him as he begins to shoot a sand arm towards Naruto. As Gaara shoots this attack towards Naruto, Naruto swiftly moves out of the way as his speed and strength are on around the same level as Third Gate Lee during the Chunin exams. Naruto's speed is quite impressive to the fact that Gaara is actually unable to see him. Naruto is basically an orange flash blitzing throughout the forest, trying to strike Gaara in every which way. As Naruto is running out of ideas for what he can do, he decides he has a good plan. He decides to charge up his One for All to as high of a level as he can at the time, around 25%. As he does so, his muscles and bones begin to creak. As he feels pain, he grits his teeth and rubs them together, feeling the bone beginning to, and marrow in his enamel beginning to grind. He then looks towards Gaara, his eyes straining, as his hair is actually beginning to lift up with power swirling around him. He then pushes off the tree limb, causing it to shatter as wood splinters fall around him. Naruto sees as a raindrop from a fallen leaf drips beneath him, actually outspeeding the raindrop as it seems to be in slow motion. Naruto goes directly underneath Gaara, and then he does a double kick upwards, similar to a donkey kick. As he does this, Gaara goes flying into the air, and as he does so, now that he doesn't have his foothold, Naruto quickly creates 5 shadow clones. The shadow clones then grab Naruto and throw him into the air. Naruto then creates another 10 shadow clones, which all grab Gaara. Naruto then quickly begins pounding on Gaara with 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 punches almost in around 10 seconds. Naruto's speed is so amped that Naruto appears to be flying from Shadow Clone to Shadow Clone, who are keeping Gaara suspended in the air. Gaara is now knocked out, and as the massive Shukaku begins to form, Naruto is actually punching and kicking off of Shukaku's limbs. Using his own pure raw strength, he feels his teeth beginning to even get more tense around and his jaw beginning to lock up. I need more power! Naruto thinks as he searches deep within himself, thinking of the power that he's had searched for multiple times. Naruto finds himself in the Kyuubi's seal, and as he sees him, he has One For All around his body, as well as the Kyuubi has its own version of One For All surrounding it. He then tells the Kyuubi he needs its power, and the Kyuubi, who's actually straining as it feels the pain from One For All affecting its own body, tells Naruto that he can have some, but if he ever comes to him again, then he'll kill him for sure. Naruto then smiles and tells him only if he can. He then is pushed out of the seal as Naruto feels an explosion of chakra all around his body. Orange as well as red chakra begin to flow out of him as a lightning electricity cloak begins to form around him, similar to that of the Raikage, if you would imagine, the lightning cloak. He then begins a speed blitz as he seems to be flying in the air. He then comes above the massive Shukaku and decides that he can do this in one final blow. He charges all of One For All into his final kick, and as he does so, he then says one word for his attack. Konoha Smash! As he slams his entire leg down directly on top of the Shukaku's head, causing it to split in half as he comes roaring down the entire middle of it. Sasuke sees as Naruto's flashing orange body is slamming down directly through the tailed beast, cutting it in half as he kicks Gaara down with him, as Gaara goes slamming into the ground, causing a large crater. Naruto stands up breathing heavily, as One For All as well as the Kyuubi's chakra deactivates. Naruto falls on top of Gaara as they headbutt each other, looking each other in the eyes before they both pass out. Naruto wakes up a few hours later, as he sees Konoha in some respective ruins. What happened? His feels like his throat is dry, like a desert. He turns over to see that Gaara is in another room that he can see barely just through the side of the glass. Sasuke and Sakura are sitting there, and Sasuke then tells him with his own bandages covering his wounds that somehow an idiot like him, Naruto, could actually defeat something that powerful. Sasuke begrudgingly admits that he's a bit impressed. Naruto, who's always wanted to be acknowledged by Sasuke, this makes him actually really happy. Unknown to Sasuke, that is. Sasuke then leaves and tells him to heal up. Naruto heals up in just a few days, actually, as we know, the Uzumaki clan has a high healing factor. Now that Naruto's all healed up, he then goes out to check the damage in the area. This is when the announcement of the third Hokage's funeral would take place, and Naruto would go to it. After the third Hokage's funeral, Jiraiya would come into the village to pay his respects, as well as tell Naruto that he needed his help. He tells Naruto that the village elders had decided that Jiraiya would make a perfect next Hokage. Unfortunately for them, he doesn't want the job, and so he's looking for the only last Sannin that Naruto hasn't met yet. Naruto's wondering who this is when Jiraiya tells him that he thinks that they'll get along just fine. Her name's Lady Tsunade, and she's actually a medical ninjutsu user. I believe that you might find her actual abilities very similar to your own, in fact. It might be beneficial for both of us if we go. And so, Naruto, I'm inviting you to come with me to find the 5th Hokage. Naruto is super excited, and asks Jiraiya if he can learn some new jutsu while he's at it. Jiraiya gives him a thumbs up and tells him, yeah, for sure. And just as he says this, Naruto decides to head out. Naruto doesn't even say goodbye to anyone as he just leaves the village. Sasuke unknowingly still in his room. Jiraiya and Naruto would head down the road as they leave the Leaf Village, beginning to head towards the gambling towns in the Land of Fire. As they get around, they decide that they won't be finding Tsunade in that day, and so they decide to take a rest. As Naruto and Jiraiya are resting in their hotel room, Jiraiya says he's going to go out for some information gathering. This is when Naruto hears a knock at the door. Coming! Naruto rushes over to see who it is, and just as he opens the door, he then sees, standing above him, Itachi Uchiha and Kisame, the wielder of Samehara. As Naruto looks up, Itachi Uchiha is about to place him in a genjutsu, but just as their eyes connect, for some reason, Itachi feels a presence. He jumps back immediately feeling a bit spooked, and as he is about to do so, Naruto jumps back as well, activating One For All throughout his entire body. This is when Samehara begins to react, feeling an immensely powerful chakra, almost an endless food supply. This is when, actually, Kisame can't seem to control the sword and goes flying towards Naruto. Naruto kicks the sword upwards and feels a bit of his chakra leave as he does so, it dislodging itself in the ceiling. Kisame and Itachi begin to jump after Naruto as they leap out of the building and begin to jump from roof to roof. Naruto quickly creates shadow clones to try and distract them as he fights off Itachi and Kisame with the best of his abilities, pushing One For All to 20% as he continues going up and up in its power, not being able to outmatch Itachi or Kisame yet. These guys aren't going to give up, are they? Naruto continues running from side to side, each building and jumping across zigzag style, so that he can maybe escape them. Jiraiya begins to notice what's going on as he hears a loud bang going out through the village, with Naruto trying to attack them. Naruto pulls his hand back as he makes a flicking motion. He flicks his finger and a burst of wind comes flying out of his hand, hitting Itachi Uchiha, pushing him backwards. As he goes flying back, Naruto takes this opportunity to cock his arm back and push it forward at full strength with a punch. This causes a huge airway to go, pushing Kisame as well as Itachi out of his range of view. Naruto then hides behind a building when he hears a swing. Barely out of the left corner of his eye, he sees it. He dives down as Samahara comes slamming into the side of the building, causing the wall to collapse. This is when, unknown to him, Sasuke had finally heard about what's going on. Sasuke comes charging out of nowhere with the Chidori, yelling at that Itachi it's time for him to die. Sasuke attempts to pierce Itachi with his Chidori. As he does this, Itachi makes it look as if though he killed him, using a genjutsu. As he does this, Sasuke feels relief and finally peace, and suddenly a huge amount of despair as Itachi appears behind him. As Itachi and Sasuke are trying to fight, Itachi grabs Sasuke and holds him up against a wall, telling him that he doesn't have enough hatred yet. Naruto is holding Kisame's arm back using his raw strength, and Kisame is rather impressed with his power. This kid's actually pretty good, maybe the strongest Jinchuriki he's met yet. Naruto rushes back as he does a backflip, telling Sasuke that they need to get his master's help, and that there's no way they can take these guys alone without the Pervy Sage. Just as right on cue, Pervy Sennin comes out of nowhere, seemingly using his Toad Sage mouth jutsu, making the toad stomach and locking all of them in there. Itachi, who tries to use Amaterasu on it, is unable to as Jiraiya pushes them out. Kisame as well as Itachi don't believe they can take on this Sannin by themselves, and so Itachi and Kisame retreat for now, with Sasuke being badly damaged from, Itachi's attack, as well as unknown to Naruto, Itachi having attacked Kakashi. Naruto and Jiraiya would then send Sasuke back to the Leaf Village as he goes to recover. Naruto would go on to leave with Jiraiya as they begin to search for Tsunade. When Naruto and Jiraiya are walking through a gambling town one day, they decide to stop at a pub, and as they get into this bar sort of restaurant area, Naruto and Jiraiya see Tsunade as well as her attendants standing there, seemingly getting ready to order. As Tsunade and her attendant actually sit down, Shizune and her begin to talk. Jiraiya and Naruto head over to their table as they sit down, when Jiraiya begins to tell Tsunade about the job position offer of Hokage. Tsunade begins to badmouth talk the Hokage position, which causes Naruto to get rather angry, as he yells at her that the third Hokage had sacrificed his life in order to save the village. Naruto then challenges Tsunade and tells her that if he can beat her in battle, then she had to take the position of Hokage. Tsunade laughs at this challenge that this kid is telling her, and this is when he goes outside and as they stand facing each other. Naruto thinks that she's going to be surprised from this, when Naruto activates One For All. As soon as Tsunade sees One For All, her eyes light up as she looks at Jiraiya with a shocked look of, "Oh no, you didn't." Knowing that this is Minato's son, the fourth Hokage known as the Yellow Flash, who had the wielder of his own Kekkei One For All during the Third Great Ninja War. In fact, one of the strongest in the Leaf Village, so powerful and fast that he made the Red Kage look like a mere insect in strength, speed, and technique. Naruto, charging up One For All, feels orange lightning crossing across his entire skin. As him and Tsunade stare each other down, Tsunade then tells him that if he can win, she'll even give him this necklace, which was her grandfather, the first Hokage's. Naruto tells her it's a deal, as Naruto decides to power up. Naruto, during the past few weeks as they've been traveling, had been learning the stages of the Rasengan from, as we know, Jiraiya. He learned the first two stages, and it had been rather difficult for him to control. He can actually only use the first two stages of the Rasengan while he's in his normal form. When using One For All, it's too much chakra for him to handle and control. Now that Naruto and Tsunade are fighting, he doesn't hold back. Naruto goes to 25% of One For All, as Tsunade immediately punches the ground. As she does so, Naruto blitzes out of the way, jumping to a building. He then leaps at Tsunade, as his fist is directly about to punch her. As Naruto is about to punch Tsunade, Tsunade pushes her hand up and catches Naruto's fist, causing a huge jet of air to come rushing out of behind Naruto's fist through Tsunade's hand. As Naruto and Tsunade lock eyes, their fight begins. Naruto's fist is shaking in Tsunade's palm, as he's pushing all of his power into it to push Tsunade back. Tsunade is gripping his hand tighter, as the wind is bursting from around her hand from Naruto's forces of his punch. Tsunade would then kick Naruto, as he takes the full impact and goes flying backwards, lightning spraying all over the place as his one-for-all full cowling is actually acting on the fritz. With Naruto being pushed back, Tsunade takes advantage of this opportunity as she punches into the ground, causing an earthquake to shake and push Naruto out, sending him into the air. As Naruto's in the air, he quickly recovers as he thinks about what he should do next. He analytically decides that the next course of action he should do is he should push some power of One For All into his feet. Naruto would increase the power of One For All around in his foot area, and as he kicks off of the air behind him, a burst of wind pressure would shoot him towards Tsunade like a spear. Naruto would begin spinning as he had seen Kiba do so many times before, using his Fang over Fang attack, and would mimic this technique when he does this. As Naruto uses this, he would then punch with One For All in his hand as he smashes towards Tsunade, causing her to go flying back. Tsunade would get up from the ground as she tells Naruto he has some impressive skills, as she thinks that this is the Kekkei of the 4th Hokage, Minato. She would then begin to power up her chakra with her medical ninjutsu, as she catches another one of Naruto's kicks that was aiming for her face. Tsunade would stop the battle, as she then tells Naruto that if he can master the jutsu of the 4th Hokage in 1 week, then she would give him this necklace, as well as that she'd go back and become the Hokage. Naruto would take advantage of the situation and agree, almost instantaneously, that he'll take the bet. After this, Tsunade would then go to rest, as she would then have Shizune go and take her back to her lot area in the inn. She would be breathing heavily as she was now sweating, losing a lot of chakra. She told Shizune that boy was extremely powerful, and already able to master so much of the Kekkei at that age, as well as being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is rather impressive. Naruto would return back to the inn with Jiraiya, as he asked Jiraiya more about the Rasengan, and how he can do it. Jiraiya would help with Naruto's learning of the Rasengan, as he shows him the steps again. Naruto would practice over and over, out late at night, as he would smash into trees, trying to master the Rasengan, trying to learn the chakra control. He'd practice the shape formation as Jiraiya had instructed, but he just couldn't visualize it. Suddenly, when Naruto passes out one day, he sees a vision, as Naruto's percentage of One For All now is so strong that he's actually able to see the vestiges. If you guys do not want spoilers for the manga, then I would pause this video and wait for that and go read that and come back. Anyway, I'll give you 3 seconds for that. Okay, good. Anyway, let's get back into Naruto. Naruto would begin to see a vision from one of the vestiges, as it would show the image of the 4th Hokage. The 4th Hokage would be all grayed out as he then grabs Naruto's hand and shows a Rasengan to him, placing it in Naruto's palm. Naruto would wake up, and suddenly he'd wake up to find that he has a Rasengan in his hand. Naruto realizes that he just mastered it. He learned how to do the Rasengan, all by himself. Naruto would smile as he laughs out loud, not realizing that One For All was activated in that hand. Naruto would rush back to Jiraiya, showing him the Rasengan, and Jiraiya would be amazingly impressed. It only took this young boy 2 days to learn the Rasengan, after hard grueling training. Naruto and Jiraiya would go to meet up with Tsunade. The two would go and meet up with Tsunade where they said, but she would be nowhere to be found. Naruto and Jiraiya would head towards looking for other locations she might be. As they're heading up these ruins, they would suddenly see Orochimaru and Tsunade talking. Jiraiya would put his hand over Naruto's lips and tell him to be quiet. This is when suddenly Kabuto and Orochimaru try to jump Tsunade. Tsunade jumps back as they begin to get into a fight. Alright, Naruto, I'll take care of Orochimaru. Can you handle Kabuto? Yeah, I can handle it. Jiraiya would jump into the battle as well as Naruto. Naruto pushing One For All to 10%. As Naruto blasts down, kicking off of the cliff, the rock would slide as it falls to the ground. He lands in front of Tsunade just as Kabuto is about to use his chakra blades to get into that battle. A flash of orange lightning would spark as Naruto goes blasting down with an axe kick on top of Kabuto's back, sending him down to the ground. Naruto would continue battling against Kabuto in hand-to-hand combat as he decides that he can use his new jutsu now. As Kabuto is about to stab against Lady Tsunade, Naruto dives in front of the way and takes the full impact of the kunai in his hand, grabbing the blade out of midair. He begins to crunch as he squeezes Kabuto's hand, causing the bones of them to crack and shatter. He would then form the Rasengan in his other hand using a shadow clone, as he then charges up the Rasengan. Now, if I take this Rasengan and I power up with One For All. He would then power up the Rasengan that slowly changes color from its usual chakra color of blue to begin to form an orangish color from the lightning and power of One for All. He would then take this Rasengan as Kabuto looked in horror at this jutsu, and he smashes into Kabuto's body. Konoha Rasengan! With the Rasengan being so much more powered up by 10% from One for All, its power actually caused Kabuto to go numb, as he couldn't feel his body for several minutes, feeling the blood in his veins being pushed all the way back to his brain. Naruto would help Tsunade up and tell her that's okay, as she looked at the blood that Naruto had on his hands. She'd think of her lover as well as her brother who had died during the Third Great Ninja War, and think about what had happened back then. She would look at Naruto and see how he had a lot of the aspects of the two closest to her in her life, who were now both dead. Naruto would be given the necklace of the first Hokage, which, unknown to him, actually was sealing the Kyuubi's chakra, which began to make Naruto's chakra control even better, allowing him to access more One for All. This is when we turn to see Tsunade and Jiraiya get into the fight of Orochimaru. Katsuyu, Gamabunta, as well as Orochimaru's snake would be summoned as they begin to battle. Naruto would get out of the way as he runs, while Kabuto is still sitting in the rock, completely destroyed. Kabuto would slowly begin to feel his nerves reactivate from chakra as his chakra paths were reopening from Naruto's insane attack. Naruto would be long gone as he was now hiding away, watching the battle from afar. Kabuto would meet up with Orochimaru as they prepare to escape Jiraiya and Tsunade. With one mighty push of Orochimaru's snake attack, as he bites Jiraiya on the arm and sends him flying down the valley, Naruto rushes out and catches his master. Orochimaru and Kabuto would escape as they use a teleportation jutsu and escape the area. Tsunade would agree to becoming the next Hokage, the Lord 5th Hokage, as she goes with Jiraiya, Naruto, and Shizune, and they head back to the Leaf Village. Immediately after Naruto would get back, Tsunade would work on saving Sasuke as well as Kakashi, who had been victimized by Itachi as well as Kisame's attacks on them, respectively. After she had healed Sasuke and Kakashi, Sasuke would look at Naruto and see how much more powerful he's gotten, noticing that his chakra flows become even brighter with his Sharingan. Knowing that Kakashi won't allow them to fight in open terms, Sasuke would challenge Naruto to a battle on the roof of the hospital, as the two would stare each other down as the battle would begin. Naruto asks Sasuke if he's sure he wants him to go all out. This is when Sasuke activates his two Tomoe Sharingan and tells him to go however fast he can. Naruto would power up to 15% of One for All, which is currently what he's best at using, as his entire body begins to glow up in orange lightning. Naruto's eyes would begin to glow a slightly higher red and orange as well, as he tells Sasuke that he's going to go all out. He suddenly pushes off as his feet touch the back of the rail and he teleports forward, seemingly, his speed blitzing towards Sasuke. Sasuke barely dodges out of the way as Naruto's body goes flying over the railing. Naruto grabs with both hands onto the opposite side of the railing of the hospital, twists and rips his body as he turns and twists with a kick towards Sasuke. Sasuke goes flying back into sheets as they get pulled off of the clothesline as he goes laying on the ground. Sasuke would get up and form the Chidori, and Naruto would immediately begin to form the Rasengan. As the two run towards each other, with Sasuke diving down on Naruto, Naruto would power a bit of One for All into his Rasengan, making it even stronger. This is when Sakura runs in front of the way and tries to tell them to stop. Sasuke would then not be able to move as he can, and Naruto wouldn't be able to either. Kakashi would appear out of nowhere as he rips Naruto and Sasuke and throws them across the hospital into two different water towers. As Naruto hits his water tower, suddenly the entire water tower implodes in a large explosion, causing the entire thing to be turned to shrapnel. Sasuke merely pierces the water tower and leaves the other side with a lot of cracks, as well as a large explosion on the other half, with Naruto's complete demolishment. This pisses Sasuke off more as he thinks that this just shows that Naruto's attack was even stronger than his, and he decides that he has to go and search for more power. Sasuke is sitting down on a tree when Kakashi would come and talk to him about how revenge people who seek revenge will never find happiness, as they'll only be left an empty shell. Sasuke would tell him to leave him alone, as Sasuke would go off and walk away. As Sasuke is sitting in a courtyard, he would suddenly see four shadows appear. The four shadows of the sound 4. We see a young man with dark hair walking down the road. Click, clack, click, clack. The stone bricks make a large clattering sound as his shoes are walking, him not trying to cause any silencing of his steps. As he continues walking forward, each step dragging longer than the last, really thinking over his decision on if it's really time to leave, he would look up, his dark eyes locking with a young girl with large, bright pink hair. "Sasuke, why are you leaving? This is the only road that leads out of the village." Sasuke would look up as he sees his teammate Sakura from Team 7. "Sakura, you wouldn't understand. Naruto's gotten so powerful now, these past few days. He thinks of his rival and friend, his best friend, Naruto Uzumaki, or Naruto Namikaze from what I guess his special Kekkei is from. I need to grow my own power, and I can't be near him to do that. I need to go and I need to experience the world. And no, you can't come with." She would feel heartbroken as he sees tears growing in her eyes. "But Sasuke, why?" Sasuke would look at her and tell her that she has to do her own journey as well, and that you can't go along with everyone down each road. You can only pick one. She would then turn around and tell Sasuke that she wants to pick that road that he's going down, and she'll go with him no matter where he goes. Sasuke would keep walking forward as he nears towards the gate. He turns around and looks at Sakura, and then before she says that if he leaves, she'll scream to alert someone. He teleports behind Sakura seemingly, as he then tells her that she's still annoying, as he knocks her out and places her on a park bench. He then leaves the village as he walks out solemnly. Sakura would wake up in the morning crying as she thinks about how she failed. She would run over to Shikamaru, who had been passing by and had checked up on her, as she tells Shikamaru about what happened with Sasuke leaving the village. Everyone would be very freaked out, knowing that Sasuke is gone and that he's the last Uchiha member and a member of the Leaf Village. Naruto would be asked if he wanted to go along, as he says of course he wants to go to save his best friend. Naruto would join the gang of Genin as the Konoha 11 would head out, with Neji Hyuga as well on the tail, with now Rock Lee joining in earlier on due to his leg not being broken. Naruto would have saved him using One For All before, and it had come in handy as he hadn't used the gates with Gar or gotten his leg snapped. Naruto, along with the Konoha 11 and Rock Lee, would head out with the new team, with Neji in the front using his sensory abilities, the Byakugan, to look for any enemies or traps. As they're heading forward, Naruto would look down through his eyes and see a large man, Jirobo. Jirobo would see the kids and would immediately begin his battle with them. Using his own earth style, he would cover them all with a large ball of chakra, of dirt, which would begin to absorb their chakra through the air. Naruto would power up One For All as his power of chakra begins to overflow his body. He then smashes his way out of the mud ball, overpowering its absorptive properties and pushing his way out along with his friends. As everyone escapes, Choji would then say that he's ready and that he's willing to go and distract Jirobo in order to let the others keep going. Shikamaru would ask if he's really sure, and he would say that he has to, in order for their team to continue to progress. Shikamaru would nod as he sees Choji beginning to pull out one of the food pills. He would feel nervous. As the team continues heading forward, they run to the next member. This member would be using a flute, as well as the next, which would have spider webs like appendages. Naruto would be pushed forward as Shikamaru, as well as now Neji, were both sacrificed in order to keep pushing forward. As the two said that they'd hold off these two members in order for Naruto to keep moving to save Sasuke, then he has to do his best. Rock Lee and Naruto would be the only ones left as they keep running. This is when they eventually would come across Kimimaru. As Kimimaru would meet up with them, seeing them across the field, Rock Lee would tell Naruto to go and that he can handle this guy. As Lee and Kimimaru begin their battle, Lee would begin to activate the gates. As Lee activates the first of the 8 inner gates, he would go flying towards Kimimaru with a large kick. Kimimaru would activate his bone Kekkei Genkai Jutsu and raise up a wall of bone to block the kick, which completely takes in the sound as well as the kinetic energy of it and pushes into the ground. Lee would jump back as he goes to regain his power position. As Kimimaru begins to shoot bone ash shots at him, he dives out of the way and dodges from all of these. Lee would kick into the ground as a blocker is pushed up into the air, which blocks the way so that his bone can't hit him. Lee would continue battling as he jumps out over this rock and comes down off a spinning axe kick using the Leaf Hurricane. As he uses the Leaf Hurricane on Kimaru, Kimaru goes flying back as Lee falls to the ground, his hair on the dirt. As he gets up, he wipes the grass out of his face as he tells Kimaru that he's going to hold him here for as long as possible. Kimaru says that there's no way he can defeat him as he begins to create the bone forest structures. Lee would jump out of each and of every individual one as he senses that each of them could grow a next one at any moment. As he continues jumping from bone to bone, he activates the second gate, pushing his body further as he now increases speed and strength. As Lee continues flying around using the gates, Gar would eventually inevitably come as he sees Kimaru battling Rock Lee. Gar would remember how Naruto had saved him before, and decides that he'll help Lee with his battle against Kimaru. Sand Coffin. Gar would use the Sand Coffin as he blasts a absolute volley of sand towards Kimaru, blocking an attack that was about to hit Rock Lee. Using his sand, he pulls Lee back and tells him that he's here to help, and Gar and Lee would hop into the battle. Gar would create a wall of sand which Lee would push off using his feet, and with the gates would smash through one of the bone structures and punch Kimaru. Kimaru would cough up blood as he begins to feel his disease beginning to set in. Oh no, I must have not practiced enough social distancing. Kimaru would think as he continues having to battle with the two while under the effects of this illness. As Kimaru would fight with Gaara and Lee would eventually inevitably overpower Kimaru with the gates, while Gaara uses his support and the sand tombs in order to bury him. With his final trump card being revealed, he quickly activates his bone structure technique and creates a large skeleton to hold himself in as a giant defense. Lee would begin smashing this with his relentless attacks, along with Gaara using sand as bullets to shoot at the large stone, seemingly like bone structure. Inevitably, Kimaru would run out of chakra as he passes out and all the bones around him would fade as they lose their chakra inside of them. Kimaru would fall to the ground as he passes on to the next life. Lee and Gaara would begin to move forward as they don't think they'll be able to catch up with Naruto in time. Naruto had been running for a long time, with 10% of One For All powering his movements, him jumping from tree to tree using acrobatics. Inevitably, he would make it to the final valley. As Naruto stands atop the head of Hashirama Senju, Sasuke would turn around as he sees the black and yellow eye that Sasuke has. Sasuke begins to laugh, an insane, crazy laugh, charging through him as he tells Naruto that he's awakened the true power of the curse mark, and that in order for him to become one with the power that Orochimaru had given him, he will continue forward, and his bond with Naruto means nothing now. Naruto says that there's no way he's going to let Sasuke do that, and that he'll have to fight him over his dead body. He tells Sasuke that if he plans on leaving, he'll have to fight him at 100%. Naruto says this with a threatening tone, as Sasuke has never seen Naruto go all out before. To be fair, neither has Naruto. Naruto tells Sasuke that if he wants to turn back now, this is his only chance. And then he tells Sasuke that if he really wants to fight him, he's not afraid of hesitating to break every single bone in his body to drag him back. Sasuke would say, "Bring it on," as Naruto charges forward with 10% of One For All. The curse mark state actually makes Sasuke's physical strength about equal to this, as he flicks Naruto, causing him to be pushed back. Naruto would come in with a fist as he punches at Sasuke, and Sasuke would take his hand and block this, feeling his arm gain tension from the wind pressure behind it. Sasuke would push Naruto off of the head of Madara as they go flying into the lake together at the bottom of the river. As the two are underwater, they are now feeling a light crossing over them, as Naruto's One For All electricity begins to flow through the river and the water around them. Naruto will come up with a large kick as he says, "Konoha Geyser!" Using this geyser into the air and pushing his body to One For All at 25% for 1 second, he shoots him and Sasuke into the air as he flies back. He would then use One For All as he charges into his finger individually and flicks his finger towards Sasuke. Naruto yelps in pain as he feels his right finger break from the tension, as a purple, messy look over it begins to form. He feels pain as he looks up to see Sasuke coming back down from his attack. He grits his teeth and swallows his pain through it as he and Sasuke continue battling. Sasuke gets on top of a log and pushes into the air using chakra control. He then breathes a fireball towards Naruto. Naruto would punch with wind energy inside of his right fist with chakra, flowing the fireball as it gets pushed back and turned into ashes. Naruto would rush forward as he uses chakra control into his feet to walk across the water. As he's about to come onto Sasuke, he deactivates his chakra control and uses One For All to shoot himself under the water like a torpedo. As he comes flying out of the water directly under Sasuke, he comes up with a backwards kick, kicking Sasuke from behind into the air. Sasuke, realizing that he's now in danger as he's out of his natural element of being on the ground, would have no movability. He quickly pushes himself out of the way using a fireball jutsu, which propels him backwards. Naruto would get on top of the water as he sighs, wiping the water out of his eyes. He tells Sasuke that he's not going to let him leave no matter what, and he says that this isn't enough proof for him, then bring it on. Sasuke then says that when two shinobi become elite enough and are strong enough, that they can read each other's mind through only crossing fists, without exchanging any words. Naruto would say nothing as he and Sasuke continue to lock eyes. Sasuke's Sharingan would activate to the 3 Tomoe state, as he now tells Naruto to come at him. Naruto would rush towards Sasuke, with him and Sasuke fighting evenly for a while. Sasuke would then pierce Naruto's chest, seen from behind using substitution jutsu, as he stabs the Chidori through Naruto. Naruto falls unconscious as he lays in the water for several minutes.
Hey kid, don't die on me now. You haven't given me enough uses to test my chakra yet.
Kurama would say as he gives enough power to activate the one-tailed cloak around Naruto. Naruto would get up out of the water as the orange energy surrounds him, his eyes beginning to turn red as they become slit-like. Sasuke, I am going to use 100% in order to bring you back alive. I don't care how many injuries you have. Granny Tsunade will be able to take care of it later. As Naruto finishes saying these words, he begins to power up One For All. Sasuke! As Naruto finishes saying these words, he activates his body to 100% of One For All. The Kyuubi's chakra begins to immediately begin healing his body, as his muscles grow tense, and his eyes become filled with light. His hair lifts up as his electricity becomes even brighter across his body, his entire being filled with One For All, at 100% of his power. Generations of the Namikaze clan, all flowing through him as one being. Naruto quickly throws a kunai, which he lays a seal on, and teleports behind Sasuke using the flying Raijin. Sasuke, there's no way you can defeat me now. Naruto's eyes look full of energy and bright as he can feel the power of hundreds of generations behind him. The flying Raijin technique, which he had borrowed from the last user, quickly fades as he then punches Sasuke. As Sasuke takes the full impact of 100% of One For All, he feels his right shoulder shatter as he goes flying back into the wall, cracking the stone behind it. Naruto, he would say as he holds his hand up, seeing Naruto's great power causing the ripples in the water around him. Stones in the air begin to crackle as the electricity of his orange One For All begin to glow across the entire final valley. Naruto would then tap into one of the previous user's ability of Earth Release as he causes a wall of earth to come shattering down, causing an avalanche across the final valley to cover Sasuke. Sasuke coughs as he pushes the curse mark to its full state, with now 2 wings sprouting from behind his back. Naruto, I'm going and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Naruto would look at him and ask if that's really true. Naruto charges the Rasengan in his right hand, making the largest one he's ever created, about the size of a large beach ball. As the Rasengan grows in size and its chakra drain becomes even higher, Naruto feels it turn to a vermilion Rasengan, with the purple energy of the Kyuubi's chakra tainting it. He and Sasuke fly down towards each other, with Sasuke's Chidori in hand. Naruto! Sasuke! Naruto would say this as him and Sasuke rush towards each other. As the Rasengan smashes into the Chidori, a large light covers the entire final valley, when suddenly the left side of it is completely overtaken. Naruto pushes all of One For All into this attack, as he feels his entire right arm shatter in pieces, him screaming in pain as he causes his Rasengan to completely cover Sasuke. Sasuke screams in pain as his entire body is destroyed by the attack of the Rasengan. His curse mark is completely destroyed as well, as his body goes flying back, his body in pieces and his arms and limbs twisted everywhere. He has several thousand cuts and bruises across him, as his bones in his face and jaw are shattered and broken. He lays there with half of his face covered in blood, while Naruto falls to the ground, his right arm completely destroyed, covered in purple and black as he had sacrificed it in order to defeat Sasuke. Sasuke! Naruto holds his left hand out as he grabs Sasuke's hand and holds him there, saying he's not going to let him go. He then passes out as Kakashi would come and gather the two. Naruto would wake up weeks later, and he feels an intense pain in his arm. Tsunade had been able to recover his arm using DNA and genetics, and that the stun he had used was almost impossible to how much chakra he had actually overflowed his body with. It was even higher than that of using the 8th gate. It's a miracle he's even alive to be, in fact. If Naruto didn't have the insane healing factor of the Uzumaki clan, as well as being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, there is no way he could ever use his arm ever again. It was even to a higher degree than the 8th gates, she would think, as she sees the amount of damage across his cells. It's almost like they were full of chakra. She thinks that a water balloon is completely filled to the top. Naruto had used his arm as a conduit, she thinks, thinking of how he forced his chakra into it like a water balloon and let it burst in order to defeat Sasuke. Sasuke was laying in the bed next to Naruto in the separate side of the room, completely still passed out. She then turns over and sees what a number Naruto had done to Sasuke. She turns back to see Naruto, having woken up a little. Naruto, Sasuke's in bad shape. It's gonna take him a while to recover, months longer even. You broke 190 bones in his entire body. It'd be a miracle if he could even move. She then says as she looks to see Sasuke and several medical ninja around him. Naruto's breathing heavily as he feels the pain in his right arm. He then tells Tsunade that he's sorry about what he did and that he had to do it all. There was no way he could have done any less in order to defeat Sasuke. Tsunade would see as Kakashi had resealed the curse mark at its maximum, and Sasuke was still knocked out cold. She then tells Naruto that she's probably going to need him to use the Kyuubi chakra in order to heal Sasuke, as some of the wounds that he has maintained aren't even possible to be healed by any medical ninjutsu they have known. Naruto had promised that he would heal Sasuke, but first he needs to work on recovering his arm. This is when Jiraiya would come in and tell Naruto that the faster that he can work on his arm and fix Sasuke, the better, because then they can get out and begin their training. Naruto would ask what he means when Jiraiya would tell Naruto that for the next 3 years, Tsunade had permitted them to go train on their own, as the Akatsuki would be coming after Naruto, now realizing that he has a very high potential use of chakra, especially after that little stunt that he had done in the final valley. Naruto looked down to say sorry quietly. Tsunade would then perk Naruto up and say that at least he had completed the mission and saved Sasuke. Naruto would smile as he looks over and says, yeah. Naruto would get up after a while as he eats to replenish his energy, with his arm in a cast, of course. He walks over to see if Shikamaru is there, as he sees Shikamaru, Choji, as well as everyone else. Sakura sees Naruto as her eyes fill with joy. She rushes towards Naruto and gives him a large hug. Naruto feels pain in his arm and tells Sakura to stop that he's still hurting there. She says sorry quickly as she steps back and covers her eyes and wipes away the tears. She looks at Naruto with a bright smile as she says that he actually did it. He fulfilled the promise that he had made to her and brought Sasuke back. Naruto would smile and says that it was no big deal, as he then, with his painful look, would turn away, asks if Choji will be alright. Shikamaru says that Choji was in a extremely painful condition, just like him and Sasuke were, as he had used 3 of the food pills of his clan in order to defeat Jirobo for them while they were gone. Naruto would say sorry to Shikamaru, as he nodded, saying that it's part of being a shinobi. Naruto would walk around the village and go get some Ichiraku ramen. 4 months have passed and Sasuke is still not woken up. Naruto's arm is completely healed now and he's ready to complete the healing on Sasuke. Jiraiya and Tsunade tell them that they're going to unlock the seal of the Kyuubi, and Naruto has to dive in there and take as much chakra as he can. Naruto nods as he goes into his seal, powering up one for all as Tsunade and Jiraiya open up the seal just a tiny bit. The Kyuubi's power completely floods over Naruto, as Naruto is trying to grab any of it. Naruto tells the Nine-Tails that he's going to save his friend, and that it was because of him that he almost died anyway. He then pushes his willpower through, as he uses the power of One for All, a shining beacon, to push the Kyuubi back. He doesn't access KCM, but he gets close. Using the power that he has, he actually harnesses about maybe 0.90% of the Nine-Tails chakra, enough to create the One-Tails. This is when, inside of Naruto's seal, his mom, which would be Kushina, would see that Naruto is actually trying to master the Nine-Tails chakra. She sees a glimpse of her young boy, who has actually mastered Miyato's power, and says that it's not time yet, as she goes back into her long-awaited sleep. Naruto would wake up from the seal, as Jiraiya and Tsunade completely reseal it, with him now in the One-Tail state. Naruto rushes over to Sasuke as he places his hand across him, as the orange chakra begins to flow over Sasuke. His wounds begin to heal as his bones snap back into place on the cellular level. Eventually, all the chakra runs dry as it covers all of Sasuke's body, as Naruto falls to the ground feeling immensely drained. Sasuke would sit up as he opens his eyes and looks around to see his friends. Sakura, Naruto, Kakashi, as well as Jiraiya and Tsunade are there. He would turn to see Naruto, who would then get up and tell Sasuke that he's an idiot. Sasuke would smile and tell Naruto that there's no way that he could have defeated him, and that he's just way too strong. It's ridiculous. Naruto would then tell Sasuke that if he wants to really beat his brother that bad, he holds his hand out, then they'll do it together. Sasuke would then give up as he says that there's no way that he's getting out of his grasp. He then asks Naruto why he cares so much, and Naruto would smile, telling him that he is his best friend after all. Naruto would wave goodbye to Sasuke, as he and Kakashi would also leave, separating on two different paths for the next 3 years. Kakashi Hatake, Jiraiya, Naruto, Uzumaki, as well as Sasuke Uchiha would be leaving the Leaf Village. 2 years and now 6 months have passed, as now Naruto heads back to the Leaf Village. As Naruto and Sasuke would meet up walking down the same road, they would smile seeing how much the other one has changed, with Kakashi and Jiraiya laughing. Sasuke would put his arm around Naruto and tell him that he's going to show him some amazing techniques he's mastered, and this time he's going to beat Naruto for sure. Naruto would laugh and say if he says so, as the two of them walk into the Leaf Village gates. 6 months before Naruto returns to the Leaf Village, we see a dark, shadowy form as Naruto is asleep, as he begins to awaken into some sort of dreamlike state. As Naruto looks up and down, he realizes that he's not in his own body anymore, and that, in fact, his body only has maybe 30 or 40% of it at maximum surrounding his entire face, which allows him to speak and at least move and look around. As Naruto looks around to where he could be in this dark, shadowy place, he would then see people, hundreds of people, in fact, as he stands out to look around, as he realizes that he's at the very edge of a long line. When he looks back, he sees a few people. He sees someone he recognizes, seemingly familiar, with blonde hair and a weird white robe around him. He has blue eyes that look kind and strong. Naruto would turn over just as he's about to ask something, when suddenly all of the forms moved as their eyes looked towards Naruto. Ah, yes, the 1423rd user. This is what the old man would say, as he turns over to finally look that down the line a man has appeared. As this man, who appeared old from afar, as he steps closer towards Naruto, would become younger and younger, until Naruto sees a young man with bright blonde hair, who seems very familiar to him as well. He would then put a hand on Naruto's face and say, it's finally time that they met, as Naruto would have no idea what's going on. This man would explain that he is of the Namikaze clan, just as Naruto was, and that in fact he had been passed down a very strong ability that had been flowing through their veins for a very, very long time. As he gestures back to the rest of his kin, he would then tell Naruto that all of their power resides in him, and that each of their souls had donated one sliver of their power before they had passed on to the next world in order to grow this power, the power of all, one for all. This is what he would say as he looks into Naruto's eyes. Naruto is about to speak when this Namikaze elder, or the original user of One for All in this world, would tell Naruto that he has much to tell him before he escapes this dream world and goes back to the real world itself. He tells Naruto that One for All hadn't come from nothing, and that in fact an ancient evil had awakened it long ago, As Naruto listens to this, he's curious about what this could mean, as this man begins to explain that there was a clan who came from the stars, and their power and their genes were so strong that they could ravage humans with ease. Even our strongest among us couldn't defend against them. We had to hide from her ruthlessness. As the man's eyes fade off, he then says that the power of One for All had to come from hope, from our entire family banding together, hoping that one day we could eventually defeat her. Naruto would ask, who is this? Who is this person? Her name is Immediately, Naruto falls out of this dreamlike state as he wakes up in the real world as Jiraiya wakes him up. Naruto would be breathing heavily as he asks Jiraiya what's going on. Jiraiya would poke towards the sunlight, as now he says that he thinks that Naruto's just about trained up enough to where he's about ready to go. Naruto, who still has 6 months left of his training, would continue to train with Jiraiya. However, he would not see any significant dreams like he had before, as he begins to forget about the dream. Naruto is walking back towards the Leaf Village, as he now has his new outfit and clothing that Jiraiya had bought for him. As he finally makes it back, Naruto takes a deep stretch as he looks up into the sky. As Naruto walks into the gate itself, he would then smell something familiar. Ichiraku ramen, Naruto would say, as his tongue begins to loll out of his mouth, with him feeling the need to feast on ramen after so long. Jiraiya would put a hand on his shoulder and tell him that they need to report to Tsunade first, however. Naruto would smile and say he can wait that long at least. Naruto has now gained access to a solid use without hurting his body of 70% of One for All. In the 3 years that Naruto has had, during the last 6 months he had finally accumulated enough strength, as well as his body having grown for him to contain more of its power. As Naruto and Jiraiya now make it towards Tsunade's office, as Naruto jumps onto the roof with little to no effort, looking around his precious beautiful village. As Sakura comes out of the house that she had just been inside of, and turns around looking at the guards who had been astonished, she looks up to see Naruto, or who she thinks is Naruto, standing on the top of the roof as he looks over the Leaf Village. She would then turn over and see Master Jiraiya as she greets him, with him responding back, of course. As he jumps down, Sakura would then look towards Naruto and say that he's late. Naruto would ask what he means when suddenly Sasuke comes out from behind, as Sasuke appears seemingly right behind Naruto without him noticing. Why, hey there Naruto. Yes, the Slowpoke's finally returned. Naruto would jump as he had actually let his guard down and Sasuke had snuck behind him. Naruto would cover his head as he said he scared him half to death, with Sasuke laughing. Kakashi would also come walking into the picture, as he would tell Jiraiya that Tsunade has been expecting them. Jiraiya and now Naruto would make their way towards the Hokage's office, along with Sasuke and Sakura. As they make it into the office itself, opening the door with a small creak on the metal hinges that have rusted a bit. As they walk into the room, they can smell the books and paper that Tsunade has been filing for years, as the ink on that has dried and left this musty scent in the air. Tsunade would turn around as her chair squeaks and looks up towards Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, her own student. She then greets all three of them, saying welcome back Team 7, as she has her first mission for all of them to test their strength today, now that Naruto has finally returned, with her giving an annoyed look to Jiraiya. Jiraiya would shrug his shoulders and tell her that they got back as soon as they could, with her sighing. Tsunade would then say that she has a test for all three of them to complete, to see how much stronger they've gotten over the past 3 years. Naruto would be ready for anything, along with Sasuke, and she says that they'll be fighting Master Jiraiya and Kakashi. Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Tsunade would head over towards the area, where Tsunade would act as a judge, with Kakashi and Jiraiya's only test is to be able to not let each of their single bells be taken. Both of them would have one bell, and the mission was for all three of them to grab, for 2 of the 3 to grab the bells. Naruto would say he'll take Kakashi, as Sasuke prepares to go after Jiraiya. As soon as the test starts with a whistle as Tsunade blows it, Naruto would then burst forward, an amount of orange lightning bursting over his body as he summons One for All throughout his entire form. As Naruto uses his own version of full cowling, he blitzes through the forest as he jumps from tree to tree, leaving an orange light trail behind him. Sasuke suddenly disappears as he activates his Sharingan and hides into the shadows of the trees, looking for Jiraiya. As Naruto begins to hunt down Kakashi, we hear Kakashi's voice call out, That's the problem with your technique and your Genkai, Naruto. It's too flashy. It's easy to see for someone who's hiding in the darkness. Kakashi would throw some shuriken towards Naruto, whose reaction speed is so high based off the 70% boost he has, that from them coming this close, they look merely like harmless little flies, moving at the speed of a paper airplane. He immediately stops as he sees them slowly spinning towards him. Naruto would flick one of them back as he slightly moves the other of his finger, standing there completely still. Suddenly, one of the shuriken goes flying back towards he had heard Kakashi's voice, who dodges out of the way as we hear foliage rustling. There you are, Kakashi. Naruto would charge energy into his feet as he uses his chakra and pushes off of the tree, causing it to snap in two. As Naruto goes bursting in full strength towards Kakashi, as Naruto tackles Kakashi's clone directly into the ground, causing a huge crater from his strength, Kakashi's clone would poof immediately as Naruto realized he's been had. Suddenly a net would fall above as he sees it falling over him in slow motion. This is child's play, Naruto would think, as he walks backwards, taking a few steps. The net falls with Naruto having revived himself off the ground rather quickly. As Kakashi is surprised with Naruto's speed being incredibly fast, he wonders how much of One For All that Naruto could have even mastered, as Minato-sensei, his own master, had only mastered around 55% of it so far that he had seen. Naruto would smile as he asked Kakashi if he's scared yet. Kakashi would make a sly remark as he tells him that he still hasn't gotten him yet and he shouldn't be so cocky. Naruto would laugh as he then says that the 3 years he's been training weren't for nothing, you know, as suddenly Naruto creates some of his own shadow clones, which he all portions One For All into. As he cuts his 70% of One For All into two halves, he now gives his two shadow clones 35% of One For All each, while he takes a break and sits back and relaxes. Oh, you deactivated One For All, Kakashi says, as he uses his shadow clone to relay information to Kakashi so as he can spy on Naruto and track his movements. As Naruto's clones head out, one of them immediately blitzes forward, as Kakashi's clone is basically on par with Naruto's. Naruto watches as their two clones battle out, with Naruto using a Konoha smash as he smashes Kakashi's shadow clone into the ground, causing it to poof, along with the radio he had held with him having been destroyed. The other shadow clone continues to pace after Kakashi, as we now switch our perspective to Sasuke and our master of Jiraiya. As Sasuke's battle with Jiraiya begins, Sasuke had used his Sharingan to search through the forest to find any tracking that Jiraiya might have left. As he hears the frog croaking, he immediately uses a fireball jutsu towards it, which Jiraiya would dodge out of the way using his own fire toad oil jutsu to blast the fireball back. As Jiraiya uses the smoke, he comes crashing down with a fist directly towards Sasuke's face. As Sasuke dodges out of this attack using his Sharingan, he would come up with an upper kick directly into Jiraiya's gut, sending him flying up into the air. Jiraiya would take advantage of the situation, however, as he uses one of his own ninjutsu by creating the toad stomach to give him a hard shell and a soft landing. As he falls into the tree forest below, the toad's stomach would actually act as a shell for his body, which Sasuke wouldn't be able to penetrate that easily. As Jiraiya would dig underneath the actual toad stomach itself, he would burrow underground as he uses the headhunter jutsu to grab Sasuke's legs and pull him beneath. Sasuke would look down as he thinks, "Damn, again?" He then looks over to see where Jiraiya could go, as Jiraiya appears before him. "Well, there you see, Sasuke, that's the great Jiraiya for you. After all, I am one of the legendary Sannin." Sasuke would sigh, as he then tells Jiraiya that this isn't over yet, when suddenly he uses the substitution jutsu as a wood block falls on Jiraiya's foot, causing him to pull it up into the air. Sasuke comes raging down from the top of the tree with a Chidori in hand as he's about to pierce it into Jiraiya. Jiraiya quickly uses his own substitution jutsu as his wood block is pierced and destroyed. Sasuke would then go after Jiraiya as the two continue to clash. We now go back to see Naruto and Kakashi fighting, as Kakashi then comes in with his real body actually, using his own Chidori on Naruto. As soon as the Chidori is about to pierce Naruto, Naruto dodges out of the way as he grabs the Chidori and squeezes Kakashi's hand. "Kakashi-sensei, give me the bell!" Naruto would say in a almost charismatic tone, as he holds Kakashi's hand tightly. Why would I ever give my bell to you, Naruto?" Naruto begins to crunch his hand as he puts a slightly more amount of power into his hand using One for All. 1%. Orange lightning begins to flicker across his hand as his hand tightens around Kakashi's. 2%. It begins to increase again as the muscles in his hand grow. 3%. Kakashi begins to feel strain on his muscles and bones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. Naruto would say as his tightening grip is causing Kakashi to lose blood in his hand as he's beginning to breathe heavily as he feels the pain in his muscles beginning to ebb out from the nerves dying. Kakashi would then be surprised as the clone from Naruto from earlier comes up from behind and grabs the bell. Naruto would immediately let go as he asks if Kakashi's okay. Kakashi would breathe heavily and say that Naruto is way too fast for his own good, as he couldn't even track him with the Sharingan when he was going all out before. Naruto, who was only using 60% of One for All, would smile as he says, "I'm surprised you could even keep up with me at all." He would then say that Kakashi was super strong back then in the day, but now that he's mastered his power, there's no one that can defeat him. Naruto would say this confidently, but before he whispers that, besides Sakura, of course, if she ever punches me, I'd be dead. Sakura finally comes raging around the corner as she tells Naruto that was her bell. Naruto's eyes widen as he says he didn't do it, as he immediately turns on One for All and jumps into the trees, escaping. Kakashi would sigh as he looks after Naruto, thinking that he's become much stronger than he would have ever anticipated. Sasuke has also retrieved the bell from Jiraiya now, as he somehow sneaks underground using the Chidori as a burrower, and uses this distraction of the Chidori's explosion to get behind Jiraiya as he grabs the bell from him, both of them now claiming victory. Tsunade would call the event over as the two had finished their examination, and they had passed without needing very much teamwork at all, besides Naruto using his shadow clones with himself. Both of them had become extremely strong, and that point had been absolutely certain. Now Team 7 retires back to their own original rooms as they leave the forest training area and get back to their houses. Naruto opens the door of his house for the first time in 3 years and sees that it's covered with dust. He immediately begins cleaning as he creates shadow clones who all rush around the house cleaning all of the dust. Naruto lay in his bed looking up out the window to the left of him as he sees stars twinkling in the sky and the bright moonlight shining down on Konoha. He thinks about it as he holds his bell up that he snatched from Kakashi and wonders how strong he is compared to those guys now, like the guy Itachi that Sasuke wants to kill. He thinks about this and wonders if Sasuke still really wants to kill Itachi, as he then closes his eyes and falls asleep. The next morning, Naruto would get a knock at the door as Sasuke and Sakura have come to awaken him. As Naruto rushes out, with him his jacket barely pulled on, he asks what's up. They say that they've had a mission sent to them from the Sand Village. Apparently Gaara's been kidnapped. What? Naruto would think, as they all begin to rush towards the Hokage's office. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would be heading towards Lady Tsunade's office, as they've been called in for their first official mission in 3 years. Sasuke would rush in as Naruto's running, and sees him next to him. "Good morning, Sasuke. You look well today." Sasuke would smile, which Naruto hadn't seen for a long time, which made Naruto feel pretty good. Naruto would see as his best friend Sasuke and Sakura would all meet up, as the three of them would now be at the office for Lady Hokage Tsunade. As Naruto arrives, he'd ask Grandma Tsunade what's going on and what she needs their help with. Tsunade would say that now that Team 7 has passed their examination to see how they were doing, it's time to see if they can really keep up, as Sakura had actually been one of the only ones to advance to a Jonin, and Sasuke and Naruto hadn't yet left their Genin rank. And this would be their first mission, where Sakura would actually be a higher rank than them. Sakura would smirk, as well as she bats her eyes at Sasuke, asking if isn't that amazing. Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't really care about the ranking system, as they just want to get this mission over with and see what's going on. As soon as Naruto is briefed on the mission, he'd be worried about Gaara, hearing that the Akatsuki's gotten a hold of him. Damn them. I'm gonna make those Akatsuki pay for taking Gaara. Sasuke would nod, as he and Naruto would decide that they'd be heading out later, that very same day. Sakura would be shocked that they're planning on leaving without her, with Naruto and Sasuke just looking at Sakura with blank stares. Sakura would sigh as she says she has to go pack her stuff, as a few hours later, Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura would be ready to go. Just as the three of them are about to head out, we suddenly hear footsteps, as Kakashi jumps in front of them asking if they were really planning on leaving him behind. Naruto would laugh as he said they almost forgot Kakashi-sensei was there, with Sasuke looking back and forth, realizing that there was only 3 of them. Kakashi would look pretty bummed out, as he then tells him that they were going to leave him there. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, along with Kakashi now, would now leave the Leaf Village, as they begin their 3-day trek to get to the Sand Village, as well as rescue Gaara. Naruto would use One For All to keep his body and physical stamina up, which meant Naruto was often sent to scout ahead for any sandstorms or anything like that. Naruto would then come back with any reports, as well as telling Kakashi there's nothing ahead and that they'd be there pretty fast. They pick up their pace as Sasuke and Naruto would be almost on even term in strength without Naruto using One For All, as now the trio plus Kakashi would have finally made it to the Sand Village. As they get to the Sand Village, Lady Chiho would be there as they see that Kankuro's down. Kankuro had tried to follow Sasori as well as Deidara when they had abducted Gaara. Sakura would actually be useful and save Kankuro for the first time in her life. I finally caught up to Naruto and Sasuke. We see a flashback as Sakura heals a fish. Anyway, back to the present, Sakura is actually being a useful medical ninja as she continues working on Kankuro and saves his life. Kankuro would thank Sakura for helping him out, and Naruto and Sasuke would ask what happened, with Sasuke being more on the interrogation. As Sasuke asked what had happened and why he got in such a bad shape, Kankuro would explain about the puppet mastery of Sorcerer of the Red Sand. Naruto, who'd be listening in on this, would tell them that they should probably get going then if the Akatsuki's really trying to abduct all these Jinchuriki, which would include himself eventually. Naruto would begin to feel that same connection to Gaara that he had felt in the original with being a fellow Jinchuriki. Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura would head out, with Sakura being behind by a few hours to make sure Kankuro was alright, as well as check on any other ninja there that might need some help, as she was a trained assistant of the great legendary Tsunade. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi would eventually be making it towards the cave area, Sakura would catch up as they're waiting, watching the cave entrance as they can see that there's some chakra residuating from the entrance. Sakura would watch and ask if Naruto wants to take this one, with Naruto nodding and saying he'd be honored to. Time to prove that my training with Pervy Sage hasn't been for nothing. As Naruto leaps down to the valley below, where the giant rock is covering the entrance of the Akatsuki's ritual to pull out the Jinchuriki's bijou, Naruto would charge up One For All into his right arm, and as well as his full body. Orange sparks would begin to cover his whole body, as Naruto's eyes would light up, with him now having a much greater mastery over this power, as proven from him seeing the vestiges in the last episode. Naruto would then throw a full-powered punch, as hard as he can, into the boulder. As the boulder is immediately hit by Naruto's fast, blitzing punch, the boulder is sent crashing into the cave, ripping off the top of the mountain as it goes flying into the air, and causing a large dust storm in the area a few miles away. Naruto's fist has steam coming off of it as he deactivates One For All, with now the two Akatsuki members left standing there. Deidara and Sasori are in awe of Naruto's power, as well as wondering what had just hit them, if that was a tornado or something. The rest of Team 7 would jump in as Deidara tries to fly away, taking Gaara as he decides he has to get out of there. Naruto and Kakashi would follow instinctively, as Sasuke would split off from the group as he and Sakura, along with Lady Chiho who had accompanied them, would then go after Sasori. As Sasori would then be locked in the cavern with Sakura and Sasuke and Lady Chiho fighting him, Naruto and Kakashi would continue to pursue Deidara, so that way they can get him and Gaara. As Naruto and Kakashi are now following them, Naruto has now boosted his power in his body and physical strength by tenfold by using One For All. His speed is now much faster, as he continues to run directly under Deidara's Claybird. This guy's fast, even for a Jinchuriki, Deidara be thinking, as Naruto's run speed is keeping up to him in flight. Deidara would kick it up a notch as he goes at full speed, with Naruto doing the same, with Kakashi behind. Kakashi would try to keep up as best as he can, but his physical strength and agility just isn't as high as Naruto's. Back to the cave, we see Sasuke and Sakura still getting into the battle with Sasori. Sasori has now summoned his 100 puppets and revealed his true form. Now, Sasuke was fighting against Sasori almost on his own, as Lady Chiho and Sakura are trying to maneuver themselves around the two battling. Sasuke has his long grass blade sword, which he's using to slice up and disconnect all of the chakra lines by running chakra down the metal edge of his blade as he slices through the puppet master jutsu, causing all of the strings attached to the puppets to disconnect. As Sasuke is continuing to battle, Sasori is now becoming more desperate, as his heart canister has been revealed, with what is the key to his immortality now being exposed. Sasuke would then charge it. Chidori!
As Sasuke creates the base form Chidori, he then rushes for it at full speed as he slashes it, trying to get Sasori. Just as he's about to pierce into the heart of Sasori, Sasori would be barely able to dodge out of the Chidori's way, as Sasori goes crashing into the other cave wall, causing a large explosion of lightning-type nature energy. Sakura would now get her chance to shine, finally, as she comes rushing in of her own punch that she learned from Tsunade, as she charges up her arm and her hand with as much chakra as she can, punching Sasori in the back while he's turned, causing him to go flying backwards. This time I won't miss, Sasuke would say, as he then takes his sword ready to pierce Sasori in his heart. Sasuke would pierce Sasori directly in his heart, as Sasori now begins to see the light as he's passing out. He would tell the two of them about some information that they might want to know about Orochimaru, as well as some of the other Akatsuki members about going to the Land of Grass to meet his informant. Sakura would take this to memory, while Sasuke would consider this useful. As Sasori passes away, now completely falling into the darkness and having died, Lady Chiho would feel an immense sorrow, just as she had in the original, as she sees her grandson die. She sees inside of her grandson her own spirit, and what she had passed along with her puppet master jutsu down the generations. Lady Chiho, Sasuke, and Sakura then exit the cave as we see Naruto catching up to Deidara. Naruto is now using 35% of One For All, as he creates shadow clones that boost him as they pick up and throw him at the bird that Gaara is being captured in. "Damn you, Akatsuki," Naruto would say, as he then finally leaps forward, pulling his fist back as he throws a mighty punch. The air begins to move as a torrent of wind comes flying out of where Naruto had punched. As Naruto's fist is about to collide with Deidara, Deidara jumps back just in time. However, he's still hit by the wind shock back, taking less of a blow, but still a strong one. As Naruto's just the wind pressure from his fist causes Deidara to go flying off of his bird. A tornado begins to form from Naruto's strength as the sky above begins to change weather as it begins to start to rain. This is when the Kyuubi starts to come out as Naruto's rage at Deidara is beginning to shine through and allow Ninetales to give him more chakra.
Deidara, where are you?
Naruto says as he's in Three Tails mode. Naruto begins crashing through the forest now. At a much higher rate of speed, he's ripping trees down and using almost 50% of One For All, which is basically destroying the entire area. At this point, Kakashi finally catches up. This is where they see Deidara. Deidara would catch up with Kakashi as the two meet each other while Deidara is trying to hide in the forest. So that's the power that Jiraiya Sensei had been almost taken down by, Kakashi would be thinking, as he has that same flashback of what Jiraiya had told him, with Jiraiya having fought Naruto while he was in Ninetales state and almost dying from it. Kakashi would pull out the sealing jutsu that Jiraiya had gave him as he rushes down quickly before Naruto can turn around and slams onto his forehead, causing the Kyuubi to be resealed. This is when Kakashi would then use Kamui on Deidara, as he hasn't used it yet today, causing Deidara's left arm to get completely ripped off. As Deidara then rushes away, leaving Gaara behind, now having the Bijou, he'd fly off on his clay bird trying to escape. Now, Gaara would be dead, as Naruto would wake up after his Kyuubi mode deactivates. Gaara, Naruto would be saying, as he looks down at his friend, a fellow Jinchuriki having been felled by the Akatsuki. Damn it. I failed, Naruto would say, as tears begin to roll down his face as he realizes his failure, just as in the original. This is when they'd pick up Gaara's body and meet back with Sasuke, Lady Chiho, and Sakura. Sasuke would also look down in shame as they had failed to rescue the Kazekage. As they placed Gaara down, Lady Chiho would then have that same speech about how she had time to let the new generation grow, and how she had been the one that forced the jutsu, as well as used the sealing jutsu to put the Bijou in Gaara. This was her responsibility. As she uses the ultimate healing jutsu. Sacrifice no jutsu, one-time use, and never teach anyone. As she uses this, she would then sacrifice her life to revive Gaara completely from death. Kind of OP, but whatever. As Lady Chiho would then do this, Gaara would awaken with the sight of the fellow sand shinobi having arrived, with Sasuke as well as Naruto cheering for him. Sakura would be sad about Lady Chiho, who would only be remembered one time after this in the war arc. Just as Gaara has now recovered, he'd be picked up by Sasuke and Naruto as they would carry him back to the village. Gaara would thank Naruto and Sasuke for saving him, and the two would tell him it was no problem, as they then would bring Gaara back to the Sand Village with now the One Tails Shukaku having been taken. Naruto and the rest of Team 7 would now then head back to the Leaf Village, as they've been given the thumbs up of approval for their job, saying that they've done an excellent work of getting Gaara back. Now, Naruto and Team 7 would now be back in the Leaf, as a possible next mission of theirs to take down one of Sasori's accomplices and spies for him who'd been working on spying on Orochimaru and giving information back. It was time that Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would go and finish off what had been plaguing them since their fight against Orochimaru back in the Forest of Death, that fear that they've had for so long of him. Sasuke especially has a vendetta against Orochimaru after what he implanted on him with the curse mark, having almost tainted Sasuke enough to even have him consider going to that snake. Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura would discuss this. As Kakashi gets back, he's almost down. We see that Guy's team actually meets up with them on their way back, with Guy volunteering to hold Kakashi instead of Sasuke. As Guy brings Kakashi back, having made it a race, Naruto and Sasuke would make it there quickly as well, with them discussing the information that Sasuke and Sakura had found from Sasori. I think we should go after this guy. He said that in the land of grass, right? This is what Naruto would ask Sasuke, of course, with Sasuke replying that if they're gonna go, they're gonna have to wait for Kakashi to recover, as Kakashi looks like he's almost out of chakra after using his Sharingan ability. Sasuke would look at what Naruto had told him about the pattern of the Sharingan having changed from what he had seen, and how Deidara's arm had just disappeared. Sasuke would consider this and then remember what Itachi had, and what had affected him back during the Uchiha massacre many years ago. Naruto would be hanging out with Shikamaru as well as Sasuke, who would decide to go get something to eat with them. As they're walking around, Shoji would tag along, as now the four of them are walking around Konoha. Suddenly, beasts would arrive all around them. These ink beasts would seemingly appear from nowhere, as our heroes look up to see a strange person standing there, as he's drawing these beasts, which are now attacking them. Attack formation B, Shikamaru would say, as then Naruto would then rush forward, activating One for All as the orange sparks cover his body. As Naruto then leaped over to Sai, much faster than Sai had even anticipated, Sasuke would already be there as well, as Sasuke and Naruto are now cornered this person. Shikamaru would now have him on the Shadow Pujutsu, as Sai is now against 4v1. Sai would introduce himself, as Sasuke would guess these from the Foundation, purely based off his clothes and his formalities and mannerisms. Shikamaru would then agree with this, as Naruto doesn't really know what's going on. Sai would then praise them for their assessment, as he is indeed from the Foundation, and he had been sent there in order to check out his new teammates. What? Naruto would say, as Sai would say that he'd actually be his and Sasuke's new teammate while Kakashi's out of commission. Based on this, Tsunade would send in her own commission in order to make sure that Danzo had nothing which would be going against them. This would be Yamato, of course, as we already know, as Yamato is also sent to be the Team 7's temporary leader as Kakashi is gone. As Sakura volunteers to stay behind and help with Kakashi's healing, Sakura would not come along this time on the Orochimaru mission. Instead, we have a four-man team of Yamato, Sai, Sasuke, and Naruto, with Naruto being the powerhouse, our healer, which would be technically, I guess, Yamato, and Sasuke and Sai for reconnaissance and just long-range attacks in general. As the four then head out for their mission to the Land of Grass to retrieve the piece of information that Sasori had told them about Orochimaru, one of the greatest rogue ninja of the Leaf ever. They'd then begin their plan, as Yamato would explain to them about what they'd be doing there while they're waiting for their informant. Yamato would use the transformation jutsu on himself and one of his clone, so as he can make the outfit much more believable than it would be if it was just himself. Sasuke, Sai, and Naruto would then wait on the hill behind them, as they're now waiting for Sasori's informant to arrive. Little do they know that this informant would be Kabuto. As Kabuto arrives on the bridge, greeting Sasori, Lord Sasori himself, he would then use his medical chakra scalpel, as he then slices at Yamato, hitting his clone as the wood clone disappears. Yamato would jump back, as this is when Kabuto would ask if this is really Sasori's true form, out of curiosity. Then deciding against it, that means that Sasori must have been felled. This is when suddenly Sasuke, Naruto, and Sai would all feel it. Lord Orochimaru. Orochimaru would arrive, as it was Sai's mission to actually take out Orochimaru and take his medical as well as gene therapy that he had learned in order for Danzo to take for the Foundation and the Leaf. Naruto would jump into battle almost immediately, as he comes flying off the cliff, kicking it off as rocks spatter around. Sasuke would then jump as well, as he and Sai land on one of his ink birds. As Sasuke is ready to fly towards Orochimaru then laughs as he catches Naruto's fist. Naruto's eyes would be strained as the veins in his forehead are popped, as he then says, "Well, hello, Orochimaru. It's good to see you again." He would say as he throws another jab punch directly into Orochimaru's gut. Orochimaru would cough as he goes flying backwards, going sent 5 or 6 feet, as he then lands on his feet, telling Naruto he's gotten much more powerful. Naruto would tell him that he can cut the crap, and that he's ready to take Orochimaru down. Kabuto would then go back to defend Orochimaru, with Sasuke saying he'll take him. Sai and Yamato played support as Naruto and Sasuke get into the battle. Naruto would power up as high as he can. One for all, 80%! As Naruto powers up, his entire body buffs up as well, with orange lightning now creasing over his entire body, and his eyes beginning to flicker as well as his hair begins to go up and down. Ah yes, the Namikaze clan's exclusive, one-of-a-kind Kekkei Genkai. One for all. It's unfortunate that only one person can possess it at a time, and that you require their DNA, wouldn't you say, Naruto? Oh, Orochimaru would say this, as Naruto then leaps into battle, instantly moving forward as a bright orange flash appears, him punching Orochimaru in the skull, sending him flying backwards. Orochimaru then kicking himself out the dirt, as he then puts himself into his snake form. With him then slithering towards Naruto, Naruto would make one finger as he flicks it towards Orochimaru, Orochimaru being hit by a blast of air. Naruto would then walk forward calmly as the earth begins to rumble around him. Orochimaru. Naruto would then begin to pull his hand out as he creates the Rasengan. I'm going to take you down right here and now. Forever. As he rushes towards Orochimaru, he would try to thrust the Rasengan into him, crushing into the ground just as Orochimaru escapes the blast. As he throws the Rasengan into the ground, slamming it into it, the entire earth around them begins to spin and explode as a humongous crater takes the entire area and begins to cause an earthquake. Sasuke would tell Naruto to calm down as Naruto is beginning to unleash some of his Kyuubi chakra. Damn it, I missed. Naruto would then begin to enter Kyuubi mode as Orochimaru knows that he's about to get screwed. Naruto then immediately teleports towards Orochimaru as he appears almost instantly beside him. Orochimaru would then get punched in the side of his head as he goes flying again, with Orochimaru now actually taking some damage. Back to Sasuke. Sasuke is now clashing using his grass blade as he's actually fighting against Kabuto with blow for blow, as the two are using his chakra scalpel and Sasuke's sword respectively with them fighting. Sai and Yamato then begin to add support as Yamato is about to use wood style to seal in the Kyuubi. Naruto would hold his hand back saying he's got this, as he then rushes forward at Orochimaru on all fours, rushing forward at full speed as he begins to use animalistic-like attacks, slashing at Orochimaru back and forth. Orochimaru is beginning to run low on chakra, and he can't continuously using the Snape escape jutsu every single time, as he's now beginning to get more serious. I guess Jiraiya actually trained this one for real. However, you're still relying on the Kyuubi's power. You Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Naruto would roar, as he then rushes forward on all fours again. This is when he's about to create a massive Rasengan, which is around the size of maybe 2 full-grown trees. As he slams this towards Orochimaru, Orochimaru would use the summoning jutsu of all 4 doors, just as he had to block the Four Tails mode Naruto before. As Naruto slams the Rasengan into these, he breaks through 3 of them, with the last one barely able to stop the Rasengan, it now completely cracked. Naruto would punch his way through at full force as a wind barrage begins to hit Orochimaru. As Orochimaru is about to fall, Naruto would then suddenly rush forward as he uses one of the secret techniques he'd been saving. He then throws a kunai, and on this kunai there would be a sealing jutsu. What the? Is this the 4th Hokage's? Naruto would suddenly use the flying Raijin jutsu as he teleports behind Orochimaru, holding the blade to his neck, saying it's over. Naruto would then throw Orochimaru, now completely restrained, to Yamato. Yamato would then use his wood style jutsu to seal Orochimaru up, as Orochimaru would then be immediately killed by Sai. What the? Yamato would say, as he tries to block it. Naruto's eyes would be in shock as he sees Sai finishing off Orochimaru with his knife, as he pulls out the foundation blade and finishes off Orochimaru for good, ending his life. Sasuke would be shocked as well, as he and Kabuto are both in shock. Kabuto then decides he needs to escape, as Naruto falls out of Kyuubi mode and deactivates One for All, telling Sai that was unnecessary. Sai would look at him with cold eyes, and Sasuke would allow Kabuto to escape from the distraction of Orochimaru's death. Naruto and the rest of temporary Team 7 would then leave the Land of Grass, having successfully actually captured and eliminated Orochimaru. Although Naruto wasn't exactly thrilled about this, and he and Sasuke, along with Yamato, were beginning to mistrust Sai.
Anyway, guys. anyway, guys. But I'm just kidding. It has been almost 2 years since the last part 13 came out, so thank you guys for watching this far. You've made it. Welcome back to the future, here in 2023, where I will be finishing off the rest of the story, leaving from last time, where you guys just finished watching, where Sai has killed Orochimaru and is taking his documents and medical information and genetic research back to Danzo and the Root. Kabuto luckily would have still escaped, with Sasuke being distracted by Sai's antics and Orochimaru's death. But before we continue on to the actual Naruto story, there is a lot of information about One For All that has been revealed in the last 2 years in the My Hero Academia manga. For the sake of my younger self and also all of the audience who's watched this far, I am letting you know now that we are ignoring that. Quirks are not going to be counted in this. I won't be giving him Black Whip or anything like that, or Fajin or anything. He already has 40 users equivalencies of power stockpiled. He doesn't need more quirk powers like Fajin or Gear Shift. He's basically an infinite energy machine with the Nine Tails active to heal his damaged cancer cells. However, as I mentioned in the prior parts, and well, I guess the last part, Naruto can have memories passed on through vestiges, which is how Minato has passed along the information of his memory of the years of training it took him to master both Rasengan and the Flying Raijin, with the Flying Raijin being the more important one here because Jiraiya already taught Naruto the Rasengan. So I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who wanted to see Naruto using Black Whip or Fajin or anything. That will not be happening because it just doesn't make sense. I'd have to give someone in the past, as a past Namikaze, those abilities as a jutsu or something. And quirks aren't necessarily a thing in this version of Naruto What If, because One For All is a Kekkei Genkai. Anyway, I have to address these things because this is a updated recording, so a lot of the information I didn't even have 2 years ago because Horikoshi hasn't finished the manga yet. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to Naruto kicking ass. And so, after Sai has killed Orochimaru, Team 7 with Yamato would take Sai back, reporting to Lady Tsunade that Orochimaru has been killed, and they even have his head, so they can prove it. And it's after this that things are going to start taking an interesting turn. For those of you who've forgotten, the reason that Kakashi was not the leader of Team 7 during the Kanami Bridge mission, where they were off to interrogate and find information about Orochimaru after what they had learned from the Akatsuki, is because Kakashi had overused his Mangekyo Sharingan, which has caused him to be hospitalized, meaning Yamato had to take over in order to be captain to help suppress the Nine Tails. However, that isn't necessarily true. The real reason that the entire team had to have a replacement is because 4-man teams are the common group setting in Konoha. But because Sasuke was defeated by Naruto at the Valley of the End 2.5 years ago, there was no reason they needed another member. Sai was merely added on as a request from Danzo, making it a 5-man team. And with Sasuke and Naruto both having imparted on their own missions, with Jiraiya taking Naruto for 2.5 years and Kakashi taking Sasuke, together Sasuke and Kakashi had improved their Sharingan abilities through training, as well as through their secret assassination missions that had been deployed to them via Tsunade. And so Sasuke, already with his 3 Tomoe, is able to shut down the Nine Tails should Naruto go berserk. Tsunade would dismiss Sai from the team, with Sai returning back to Danzo and the Root taking back the information that Orochimaru had garnered through years of experience and experiments. While the Leaf Village is working on its reconstruction of information and Team 7 is being reconstructed into a Yamato, Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura team, now there's only one big lead left open: the appearance and presence of Kabuto. After Kabuto had escaped back at the bridge, he had gone to all of Orochimaru's hideouts, creating his own Team Taka, with Karin, Jugo, Suigetsu, basically combining the rest of the remaining Orochimaru forces and working together, with them all heading towards one location: Ryuchi Cave. From here, Kabuto would begin collecting all of the information he needs in order to hold something over the Akatsuki, currently the group with the most influence in the underworld of Naruto now. Kabuto would be a master of the reanimation jutsu, the jutsu that he would use later on in the original series after having become a sage of the snake through Uchi Cave to hold something over Madara. Or should I use his real name? But enough of that. Suigetsu would depart with Karin to go out and get the Executioner's Blade from Zabuza's corpse and grave, and Jugo would remain behind, staying back at base with Kabuto and beginning to work together in researching how to re-engineer his clan's ability to absorb nature energy. Basically using Jugo at the moment to absorb some nature energy like a battery from Ryuchi Cave and transfer it to Kabuto. Kabuto's first actions after the Leaf Ninja had left would be to return to the battlefield, realizing Orochimaru's head had been taken but his body had been left behind. Quite the careless maneuver considering that 2 of the entire team were Abu members. Just goes to show how useful they were, as Kabuto would have retrieved Orochimaru's body and absorbed it into himself, giving him the abilities of Orochimaru like Sasuke had done using his curse mark back in the original Shippuden timeline. Unfortunately, Kabuto doesn't have a curse mark, so this means that Jugo would have to be the one to actually absorb Orochimaru and then transfer that energy to Kabuto. This means that currently Jugo is the strongest of the Taka. Well, they're not called that because Sasuke isn't part of them, but you know what I mean. While Kabuto is working on continuing Orochimaru's legacy, past this and back at the Leaf Village, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would be working with Yamato. The events of the Team 10 arc would happen with Kakashi stepping in to fill in as the captain while Asuma is dead, and Shikamaru would be the main character for like 20 episodes or however long that thing was. It's at this point where we get a small training arc for both Sasuke and Naruto, with the 2 sparring frequently and have actually traveled back to the Valley of the End, where they've been staying for the past week since Asuma's death and are working on creating 2 new jutsu for themselves. Naruto working on mastering his ability with the Flying Raijin for starters, and Sasuke would be working on his Sharingan as well as a new jutsu that he's working on called Chidori Stream. For those of you who don't know, this is the Chidori technique that he developed in the original timeline, where he can manipulate Chidori through his blade and is mastering Kenjutsu, which is swordsmanship. This training would be pretty beneficial for Sasuke, in that with Naruto's intense speed with the teleportation of the Flying Raijin plus 1 for all, he would be able to work on his Sharingan's tracking ability, as well as just overall his stats. And for those of you wondering what's going on, remember that this Naruto's focus isn't so much on clones as it is with mastering the ability of 1 for all, because his full cowling ability, like similar to what Deku can use with using 1 for all in his entire body, is abysmal compared to what Izuku Midoriya is capable of just by the end of like season 4 of My Hero Academia, because Naruto has way more power contained inside his version of 1 for all. With over 40 unique users since the original Kekkei was developed back in the times of Hashirama, it's no wonder that the power is overwhelming for those who have to use it, taking years to master just how to use it in your body without killing yourself. Luckily, the way that this version of 1 for all works in the Naruto world is that even if the user dies, the inheritor would be the next closest relative who's living of them. This means that if Naruto were to combust or die right now, the next person would gain 1 for all would be the closest relative to the Namikaze clan. Which, I'm just gonna say, for the sake of making things funny, is going to be the Yamanaka, specifically Ino. Why? Is there lore to back this? No. Do I think it'd be hilarious? Yes. Is Naruto dying? Probably not. Anyway, Yamato would have come to the final valley with them, sitting and eating lunch as he watches the 2 sparring again today, with the 2 getting even more intense, both of them smiling while they fight. Naruto would grit his teeth, opening his palm, as he then charges electricity through his hand from 1 for all. 10%! Rasengan! The Rasengan begin to form as it begins shaking uncontrollably, with the amount of power being even more than Naruto's chakra control can handle. As it would spurt out of existence, Naruto would grit his teeth, still not having a great mastery of just one-handed style Rasengan. Sasuke, however, would be doing just fine with using one hand with Chidori, the 2 having tied their non-dominant hands behind their back, choosing to only fight each other with 1 arm. Naruto would get out of the way using One For All and kicking with his left leg, spraying a column of water at Sasuke as Naruto laughs, saying, "Water style jutsu." Sasuke would spit the water up as he then slashes through the water with his lightning blade, yelling at him to not play around like that. Another part of the training would be Sasuke using his genjutsu. Naruto is basically completely invincible against genjutsu. He has a tailed beast, which isn't helping him right now, but in the original series you guys would get that. And he also is a user of One For All, which the vestiges can help break him out of genjutsu. This is the perfect target for Sasuke to practice genjutsu on, to make his own genjutsu stronger and able to resist against Itachi. With the Akatsuki being so focused on attacking that and capturing the tailed beasts, as well as just attacking the villages, it's no wonder that at some point, someone from the Akatsuki is going to be coming for Naruto. And the closer I am to Naruto, Sasuke would think, the closer I will be to Itachi. So Sasuke is basically getting two birds with one stone here, being able to fight and kill Itachi while also protecting Naruto. So it's a win-win. This time both Sasuke and Naruto would show up at the battlefield. No Rasen Shuriken would exist. I'm sorry guys, I know it's a cool jutsu, but it just doesn't happen. What does happen though is a pretty cool combined jutsu that they learned while they were sparring together with Yamato, the Rasen Dori. Naruto provides an insane amount of chakra and power, boosting it with One For All, and Sasuke focuses completely on chakra control, using Naruto like a battery, while Sasuke would be the controller output, using his Sharingan to output everything correctly, makes a drill-shaped Rasengan that's imbued with lightning, a technique that's currently only possible for them to work on together, but if they can continue getting stronger, they might even be able to perform it by themselves. The Rasen Dori is the perfected version of the Chidori, and it is a route that was created through Naruto and Sasuke's teamwork together that fulfills Minato's dream of completing the Rasengan as a jutsu. The Rasen Dori is not quite a perfect jutsu yet, but it does have the potential to be far stronger than either the Rasengan or the Chidori are currently. Using this drill-shaped Rasengan, they would plow through Kakuzu, killing him and shredding his cells with lightning, burning him on the cellular level with lightning to the point that his nervous system was completely destroyed. Upon defeating Kakuzu, Sasuke and Naruto would turn giving each other a fist bump. Ino and Kakashi would be so impressed watching and witnessing as the two would just completely trivialize the foe they've been struggling with. Kakashi would be impressed watching his two students having grown so far and seeing the Chidori, which he had created, finally being perfected alongside his own master's jutsu. It'd make for this really wholesome moment where we see Naruto and Sasuke, and Kakashi would look up seeing them as Obito and himself when they were younger. Wholesome content for real for real. Anyway, with that, we're going to be wrapping up with Hidan and Kakuzu being murked, Shikamaru getting that revenge and giving his sensei a smoke. Rest in peace, G. And with that, we're moving on from the Kakuzu and Hidan arc into what was, at that point, the Sasuke versus Itachi stuff, and of course, Naruto and Jiraiya and Pain. Now, a lot of these events are going to be very different, because Sasuke never went to Orochimaru's side. Naruto stopped him and broke every bone in his body, like he said he would. Anyway, so since Sasuke isn't on the Orochimaru team with the new version of the Taka of Kabuto, Suigetsu, Karin, and Jugo, there is no reason for the team to go after Itachi and Kisame, or to even attain information on them. However, Itachi would still be reaching out to Sasuke. As everyone already knows, Itachi did love Sasuke the entire time, or at least as we were told by Kishimoto, which is another debate. But alas, Sasuke would have a clone crow sent to him by Itachi who would tell him his location. This is important because this gives Sasuke a motive to leave the village, and as such, Kakashi and Sasuke would once again head out, with Kakashi being the only person Sasuke would tell the truth to, Kakashi deciding to go along with him to protect him in case something would happen, the two leaving the village. Simultaneously, Jiraiya would have found some information while Naruto and Sasuke had been training during those couple of weeks while they were fighting against, the Akatsuki. But yeah, Jiraiya would have gotten some information about a god and an angel. A group of some sort of deity-like figure that has begun to position itself in the land of rain. Well, doesn't that bring back memories? Well, anyway, the land of rain. prior to Hanzo's takeover of the entire area and making it a powerhouse during the Third Great Shinobi War, it was still a poor nation. Even after the war ended, there was really nothing left there. But enough about me. Back to the what if. Jiraiya would have found information from his spy network within the Land of Rain that it was a deity-like figure had taken it over, and that the entire place was protected by this ancient mist. At least that's what he heard. Of course, this was all baloney. Jiraiya himself would infiltrate, and that fateful day would occur. With Jiraiya and his toad alongside him, he would enter imperfect sage mode, battling against the 6 paths of pain. Struggle as he might through the sewer system and even infiltrating all the way into the city, Jiraiya, in his last dying breaths, having been attacked over and over and stabbed by multiple paths of pain, would impart his dying words in a coded message meant for his last, and well, perhaps his only great achievement in his entire life. In a life full of failure, he had accomplished one thing, and that was training his godson and the son of the 4th Hokage, Naruto. He would de-summon Pa, sending him, Fukasaku, back to Mount Miyaboku, and now, with tears in his eyes, the old frog would begin his journey to Konoha to send this message to Naruto boy and see what Jiraiya was imparting into his student to defeat what he could not. As Jiraiya sinks beneath the waves, we never see him again. Yes, Kashin Koji, never. We never see him again. Yes, we never see him again. Anyway, Naruto would decipher the coded message alongside Tsunade and other coded ninja who couldn't figure it out until Naruto himself would have realized that it's relating to the Makeout Tactics book, deciphering the message saying, "The real one is not among them." Among us! I'm sorry about that. That was pretty uncalled for, I know. Anyway, Naruto would then head off to Mount Miyaboku to train and begin harnessing the power of Sage Mode. Luckily though, this is where a benefit comes for Naruto. While One For All doesn't have any quirks in this timeline, he can access all the memories of the prior users, similar to like the Attack Titan from Attack on Titan. But anyway, basically Naruto would realize that Minato, his father, the 4th Hokage, had spent some time training at Mount Miyaboku to learn Sage Mode, with him ultimately not being particularly good at it, but having garnered the ropes. This meant that Naruto would have the same amount of training in memory that Minato had. This is huge. Naruto would be able to begin picking up Sage Mode much quicker than any other jutsu that he has been learning thus far, aside from the Flying Raijin, Rasengan, and other jutsus that he had inherited. But to be able to pick up Sage Mode so quickly was absolutely impressive to Fukasaku and the rest of the toads at the Mount Miyaboku, with them never having seen anyone learn Sage Mode this quickly. It would take Naruto half the time to begin perfecting Sage Mode, realizing the potential Sage Mode offers him with the boost of One For All. If I can combine Sage Mode and One For All, my power is going to be through the roof. We go back in time a little bit before Naruto leaves from Mount Miyaboku, with Sasuke saying goodbye to Naruto, hoping that things are going well with Jiraiya's mission, and saying that he'll see him in a couple of days, with Kakashi embarking alongside Sasuke, having just recovered out of the hospital, and the two leaving on a sudden, urgent mission. This is, of course, Itachi. Sasuke and Kakashi would arrive, with Kakashi staying outside with Kisame, just like Kisame would have requested in the original, and Sasuke entering the old Uchiha hideout to face Itachi by himself. While Kakashi is having small talk with Kisame, taking tea, Sasuke would be getting Genjutsu Oblivioned, and Itachi would basically be playing with him, throwing a few Amaterasus that Sasuke could dodge, and yet Sasuke would be none the wiser, with him thinking that Itachi's actually trying to kill him. Sasuke would create 2 shadow clones. Yes, shadow clones. Kakashi taught them to him during the 2.5-year time skip. With these shadow clones, they would spread out, making a triangle around Itachi. And with this, they'd start weaving hand seals. This is the only way that this version of Sasuke is able to create and utilize the power that he wanted to attain by going to Orochimaru. By using 3 of himself to control the chakra, he would be able to create Kirin with the thunderclap. Itachi would create a Susanoo to block this huge dragon of lightning, and Sasuke's shadow clones would disappear, leaving him exhausted. Sasuke's chakra reserves aren't that great compared to Naruto, so just using a couple of shadow clones is way more draining on him, especially the real, like, legendary jutsu version that Kakashi knows. The kind that can transfer memories and experiences to the original user. Anyway, with this, the entire building would explode. Kakashi seeing Kirin was activated, which is Sasuke's ultimate jutsu in an S tier. It was a jutsu so powerful that when Kakashi and Sasuke had been training to learn it during the time skip, it took both of them almost an entire year working together using their Sharingans to try and create this jutsu. Ultimately having to work on using shadow clones to complete it, because it's so difficult to control that much natural energy from the sky to form lightning. Itachi would have created Susanoo blocking it, and we would have his dying moments as Itachi would pass away. Sasuke, were your eyes able to see through it all? As Itachi walks towards Sasuke slowly, he would say, my eyes, mine. Sasuke getting scared as his Sharingan deactivated from his lack of chakra, swinging his sword at Itachi. Being blocked by the Susanoo and his blade flying away, he would be pushed against the wall as Itachi would take his fingers, flicking Sasuke in the forehead with blood on them as he falls to the ground and dies. Until the very end. Till his very last breath. Itachi only felt concern for Sasuke. This is when things get interesting. Obito would appear. Or should I say Madara in this case? Well, anyway. Madara would appear. With Sasuke being unconscious and Itachi being killed, he would take both of them, Kisame and Kakashi being left behind, as Obito would explain the truth of Itachi's mission to Sasuke, about what really happened to his brother, and the treachery that the Leaf Village had done onto the Uchiha clan. Back at the Leaf Village, Naruto would have returned early, with him de-summoning and reverse summoning himself back to the Leaf Village to find Pain just about to attack it. Naruto would have appeared on top of the Hokage statues with himself and 3 other frogs just like he had in the original timeline. Before the Diva Path can use Almighty Push and Shinra Tensei the entire village out of existence, Naruto would intervene. One for all. 45%. Through his training into Sage Mode, he would have gained a much higher understanding of chakra control, thus allowing him to control One for All far better than he had before. Because Sage Mode, for those of you who don't know, is basically just mixing nature energy into your 2 current chakras, as every person who's alive has yin and yang energy, that being their physical energy and their ninjutsu. As Fukasaku explained in the series, there's the ninjutsu chakra, which is what you're using your spirit in order to create energy and to use it for jutsus. Then there's the yang energy, which is the light, physical, and stamina. It's your physical strength and speed. And then Sage Mode is just applying nature energy, making it a 3 mix. But with One for All, it falls into 2 categories, being a physical and spiritual form of power, with the memories being the spiritual half and the physical power boost being a form of jutsu in some way that gives him enough power to control it. So by using Sage Mode and having each and turning each into thirds, Naruto has a much more stable and controlled version of One for All now. He would have yellow and orange sparks covering his body as he moves, jumping into the air and crushing Minato's hair from the statue, saying, "Whoops, sorry, Dad," as he throws a punch at the Diva Path, slamming the doll back into the ground before it can use its power, and landing on top of it as the other 6 paths of pain start surrounding Naruto. With Naruto's immense strength and speed, his physical power with Sage Mode and One for All would be gigantic. At this point, I'd be willing to say that Naruto with 45% of One for All plus Sage Mode activated is physically about as strong as 7th Gate Guy. And he's not even using Kurama's power yet, because the Nine Tails still doesn't work with him. Naruto would beat the brakes off of the Diva Path, ripping Yahiko's head off of his own body. The Nara Path would try and use the King of Hell to heal him, and Naruto would start getting to work on breaking all the other bots, with him ripping apart all of the other 6 paths of pain piece by piece, eventually realizing which path was healing the others, and using a ginormous lightning-style sage art, Rasendori. Naruto would have mastered the Rasendori at this point after doing Sage Mode training, and has awakened his lightning nature, With Minato having a lightning nature himself, it would be much easier for Naruto to tap into his memories and just use that to unlock the energy transformation, giving him the ability with Sage Arts to create his own Rasendori that is even stronger than the one he and Sasuke had used to kill Kakuzu. Naruto would drill the Rasendori into one of the paths of pain, who would start absorbing it, but as he does so, the nature energy in the attack would start forcibly transforming the path of pain into a frog, turning it into a statue. With this, there would be no need for anyone to die, and the Nine Tails would not be awakened. Hinata doesn't have to step in because One For All gives Naruto enough strength, speed, and boost to his power and chakra that even when he runs out of Sage Mode, he's still faster and stronger than any of the paths of pain. And even if they were giving him a hard time, he could just boost the percentage of One For All and give him a huge amp, and just take some damage if he really needs to. Using Sage Mode, he would stab himself with one of the rods, sensing where Nagato and Konan's location is, and he would leave the village. With the paths being defeated, Tsunade would have the Abu and other shinobi helping wrap up the scene. The Leaf Village would be completely fine. When Naruto arrives at the big paper tree, he would find Konan and Nagato having that same conversation about the cycle of hatred, death, and what happened back in the Land of Rain to them as kids back during the Great Shinobi War and how Jiraiya had taken them in. He would learn all about Yahiko and what had happened to the three of them. Now here's where things get interesting. Because no one died, there's no need for Nagato to use Rinne Rebirth. So even though he's skinny as hell and looks like he's going to die, he doesn't. Because he's not using Rinne Rebirth. There's no one to revive. So instead, Naruto makes up with them and basically forgives them for their actions as part of the Akatsuki, telling them about what they need to do to work together to fix this, and not being nuclear-tailed pet catchers. After this, Nagato and Kohan would be left alone by Naruto, with Naruto telling them he's going to tell everyone that he has defeated and taken out whoever was controlling the paths. He would ask them what they plan to do now, with them agreeing that they're going to go back to the Land of Rain and actually start working on some reform to try and help their nation. Naruto and Konan would leave the scene, with Naruto saying that they ever need any help, just to give him a message and he'll be there as fast as he can. On another note, Nagato is definitely clapping Konan tonight. I'm just saying, like, it's happening, okay? Like, they leave, ditching their Akatsuki robes, and basically leaving the Akatsuki after Naruto talk no jutsu'd them into the good side. However, while Naruto had talk no jutsu'd two of Obito's allies to his side, Obito had told Sasuke the truth. Sasuke, who had been defeated by Naruto in the path at the Valley of the End, who had been set onto the right path, was now corrupted by Obito. Hearing what he said, what Madara was telling him, and if it could actually be true, if the Leaf Village had actually put Itachi up to being a spy and throwing his entire family away, all for the sake of the village. Sasuke would be the only thing that Itachi had loved more than the Leaf Village, which is a huge honor, and also this is what awakens Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan, with his eyes transforming into the next stage of evolution for the Uchiha. Sasuke would join the Akatsuki, donning an Akatsuki robe, and abandoning the Leaf Village, with him siding with Obito after hearing that Itachi had lost his life due to those scumbags, with him now swearing that he will destroy the Leaf. Well, specifically the Elders of the Leaf is who he's going to kill. Sasuke knows that Naruto is going to oppose him on this, but he's certain that if he explains things, Naruto will agree with him. At least, that's what he's trying to summarize in his head. Since this version of Sasuke isn't as far gone as the one that we had in the original Shippuden, he doesn't want to kill everyone in the Leaf Village or destroy the entire village, he just wants to kill the Elders. And so his shinobi title is now the Old Headhunter. But anyway, Obito would put Sasuke up to his first job, saying he will help Sasuke find Danzo and the other elders and wipe them out, if he does a little job for him first. And so Sasuke would attack Killer Bee by himself, taking a portion of the 8 Tails but ultimately failing. This is where things get interesting. Because Sasuke attacked Killer Bee by himself, this causes a different change in the timeline. Instead of the Raikage opening the 5 Kage Summit to discuss the problem of the Akatsuki, it would be to discuss the problem of why they're declaring war on the Leaf Village. Sending a message to the Leaf Village, Naruto being with Tsunade when it arrives, saying that Sasuke Uchiha of the Hidden Leaf had attacked his Jinchuriki of the 8 Tails. Kakashi had yet to return from his mission with him and Sasuke being missing, causing an uproar in the Hokage's office and confusion among the entire Leaf Village. Tsunade would send a crow back with a message offering to host a 5 Kage summit to discuss what happened, with her claiming to the Raikage that they had never ordered such a mission to take place. The Raikage back in the Cloud Village would scoff, saying those damn Leaf Shinobi are all the same, deciding that he will attend the 5 Kage summit to give the Hokage a piece of his mind. Naruto would immediately volunteer to attend the Kage summit with Tsunade. After having defeated the entire Akatsuki 6 members who had attacked, there is no reason she can decline this, with Naruto being probably the strongest one in the village, with Kakashi, Guy, and most of the other Jonin out, and the Abu being pretty much incompetent. And so Naruto would attend the 5 Kage summit along Tsunade and Chizune. As all the Kage would arrive in the Land of Iron, where the samurais are, Naruto would be standing outside the table as one of the guards of the Hokage. Raikage would demand to know, why had the Hokage sicked their last Uchiha on his Jinchuriki? Tsunade would once again reiterate that she had never sent Sasuke to go after anyone from the Cloud Village, saying that she had received information about an Akatsuki member that Sasuke and Kakashi were going to ambush, saying that it must be some sort of trick from the Akatsuki. Raikage would get fed up, saying, Akatsuki this, Akatsuki that. You Leaf have never taken responsibility for your actions. Raikage would throw a punch, and as it's about to hit Tsunade, suddenly we would hear a slamming sound as Naruto would catch it with his right hand. Even with the Raikage's lightning cloak active, yellow and orange sparks would begin to be emitted from Naruto's hand, his entire body. His eyes would flare up from their clear blue, having an electrical light to them, as he activates One for All. Naruto would then say in a calm voice, if you try and lay another finger on Granny, I'll rip your fucking head off and send it back to the cloud. Just like that, with Naruto's other hand, he'd throw an uppercut into Raikage's chest. Using 45% of One for All, Raikage's guts would be pressed into his spine as he gets smushed against the wall and cracks the concrete stone, passing out in critical condition as Naruto one-shots the Raikage. The other Kage would be shocked, with him recognizing this as the 4th's power. Except for Gaara, because Gaara is the newest Kazekage, so he wouldn't be that surprised. But the other Kage would be horrified with what Naruto had done, and also impressed realizing that this is the successor of One for All, the legendary Kekkei Genkai of the Namikaze clan. Tsunade would order Naruto to back off, with Chizune grabbing Naruto and holding him from behind. Naruto would just stand still, saying that if he hadn't blocked that, she seriously could have been hurt. Tsunade would hold her hands together, saying that if Sasuke really did go rogue and attack Kakashi and possibly join or side with the Akatsuki in attacking the Jinchuriki, then it would fall under her responsibility to take the blame for what Sasuke has done. Raikage would just start waking up with him feeling several of his ribs broken and one of his lungs being collapsed, coughing up blood as he thinks of Minato, the only other person who has been so fast that he couldn't even see him moving. Raikage would start pulling himself up, which would actually impress Naruto, having hit him pretty hard. So that's the strength of a Kage, huh? Before Raikage can retaliate, a swirling pattern would begin to appear in the air as Obito would arrive, wearing the Akatsuki robe, as he would declare war on all 4 nations, saying that he was the one who had sent Sasuke after the Raikage's pet. And as such, the declaration of war from the 4th Great Shinobi War would begin. This has a lot of effects, because a lot of people aren't dead in the Akatsuki. Like, Kisame is still around, Deidara is still around, now they have Sasuke. Most of the Akatsuki is alive, except for, well, Kakuzu and Hidan and Sasori, and I guess Nagato and Konan quit, but look, most of them are still alive, okay? I think this is pretty good. The Kage begin mobilizing for war, and Obito begin going after his Rinnegan, returning back to the Rain Village to ambush Nagato and Konan. Obito with his Kamui abilities would be able to take out Konan, with her not having the paper explosives all prepared like she had originally because she knew Obito would come for Nagato's Rinnegan. Since Nagato's still alive, they had no reason to believe that Obito would come after him for no reason, since it's not like they reported they quit or anything like a job. They just stopped showing up, and he hasn't requested anything since. Nagato would be where things get interesting, with him able to use all of the 6 paths in his own body at this point, and healing himself with the King of Hell. We would have a full power Nagato versus Obito. For the sake of plot, I'm going to say Obito wins, but if I'm being honest, in a full power Nagato versus Obito fight, I'm gonna say Nagato has a good chance of winning. After we saw what he was capable of as a reanimation, I think Nagato at full strength with 6 paths is probably strong enough to actually take out Obito once he understands how Kamui works. But that's just my opinion. For the sake of plot convenience and writing to actually get this to the end and not make an unsatisfying ending, we're going to say that Nagato is killed by Obito, and if that's really too hard for you to believe, just say he took him to the Kamui dimension and left him there to starve to death for like 2 weeks or something. I don't know, but anyway, he kills Nagato and takes his Rinnegan, giving himself the Rinnegan, and also now having the keys to the Geto Mazo statue. Behind the scenes, Danzo would have met up with Kabuto and the rest of Orochimaru's forces, and would be secretly working with them to push the Akatsuki into a corner so they can force them to give them what they want, which is one of the Rinnegan. As such, Kabuto still finds Obito, and using the corpse of the real Madara, would threaten him into helping and letting them help them in the war. With now a Danzo, Orochimaru, and Akatsuki front with the White Zetsu army, the stage would be set for the 4th Great Shinobi War. With them knowing that they are after the Tailed Beasts, the villages would send the Raikage's 8 Tails and Naruto with the 9 Tails to the Turtle Island, and events would begin to play out just like they had in the original canon timeline, with Killer Bee helping Naruto eventually after they realize they're cool with each other, and Naruto now being taught how to harness the power of 9 Tails. Inside of his seal, when he's fighting Kurama, he'd be easily beating him using One For All to move faster than Kurama can, having a tug of war of their chakra. As Naruto's losing the tug of war, suddenly something would happen inside his body, as 40 people would come charging out of the gate, grabbing onto Naruto's chakra like a big game of tug-of-war and helping him pull, Minato standing right behind him, and eventually Kushina even coming in to help, with Naruto then being sent to that cloud-like place where he talks to Kushina for the very first time, meeting his mother and discussing things with her and talking about his dad and everything that's happened so far. With him hugging his mom, finally getting to see her for the first time, Naruto would break through and would defeat Kurama's power and the negativity from the Waterfall of Truth, now accessing KCM1, which gives him the healing factor he needs in order to be able to use more of One For All. Naruto's max capacity with KCM1 pulling him up to 65%. With KCM, Sage Mode, and One For All, it's over, okay? It's over. The moment Naruto arrives at the battlefield, he will kill anything and everything. There is no one could stop him, unless 8 Gates guy somehow had an 8 Tails form or something, or Jubidara just gets stronger somehow or gets a Jogan or something, I don't know, but there is no one who can kill him at this point. Once he had KCM, it's over. The healing factor with One For All fixes his biggest problem. His strength and speed are just off the charts scaling-wise. He is the strongest person in the entire world once KCM has been achieved. Just KCM1. Just KCM1. Sasuke would have the EMS from Obito after his failure against Killer Bee and his blindness was starting, and he would get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan absorbing Itachi's eyes. The scene with Iruka would happen where Naruto breaks out of his seal and reads the note from him, as himself and Killer Bee now leave for the battlefield. Sasuke would also leave for the battlefield, with Obito telling him that he can take out the Root and Danzo. Sasuke being sent alongside Deidara as a 2-man squad to fight and kill Danzo. Sasuke would successfully do this using his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Susanoo, and all of his abilities, just like he was able to in the original timeline, with Danzo getting slaughtered while Deidara takes on the Anbu by himself, and Deidara fighting them off would basically just be fodder, because the Anbu are always fodder. Danzo would be using Izanagi spam, and Sasuke would inevitably be killing him enough to where he runs out of Sharingan, inevitably finally killing Danzo and avenging Itachi. Meanwhile, Kabuto has successfully obtained Sage Mode from the Ryuchi Cave and is now sitting there controlling the reanimation jutsu, having reanimated Madara as well as the other reanimated shinobi. The fight would start to get serious, with all of the 4 nations struggling to keep up from against the White Zetsu and the unlimited strength of the zombie ninja. It's only inevitable we would have some casualties on both sides. Well, I guess just the shinobi side, because the others are all pretty much just dead anyway. Tento stuff would happen. Naruto would arrive at the battlefield, with Naruto himself physically arriving faster using One For All to move faster than Killer Bee can, and blitzing, making it to the battlefield where Gaara is. this being the same location where Madara himself is, as he makes it in time. Madara would be defeating shinobi forces left and right, eventually just completely destroying the alliance, as Madara would then finally be bored, summoning 2 ginormous meteors to which Onoki and Gaara would try to catch the first one and not knowing about the second. Naruto would then jump into the air, leaping with One For All and KCM as he cuts with his leg, slashing with a big burst of wind and cutting the boulder in half, making it far easier for Onoki and Gaara to carry them, bringing them softly to the ground as the second one falls through the clouds. Naruto would then throw a punch, completely destroying the meteor and sending it into space. The fight of Madara versus KCM One For All Naruto would be intense, with Madara recognizing the Kekkei Genkai of One For All. Of course, this would be something that he had been easily able to defeat in the past, because when he was fighting the first user of it, it was much weaker than it is now, since it's a stockpiling Kekkei Genkai. Naruto would be beating the brakes off Madara, ripping off his hands and legs, even though he's regenerating as a, reanimated shinobi. And even with Madara summoning Susanoo, he would be basically just keeping pace with Naruto's physical speed and strength. Naruto would summon a Rasen Dori, plowing through the Susanoo and shattering it, as Madara would be crushed underneath it. Madara would really try all the stops, summoning Wood Style and using his full power to defeat the Nine-Tailed Brat, this Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails being so strong and being needed to be captured. Obito would arrive, taking Madara and Kamuing out of there before Naruto can kill him and seal him, because he is just too busted. And with that, Naruto's side at the Great Shinobi War would have won, with Madara being forced to flee. Naruto would send clones to every battlefield like in the original. Sasuke would come in after having some more philosophical discussion with meeting up with Kabuto and the rest of Taka. And eventually, Kabuto's forces would arrive at the battlefield, with Kabuto being on Sasuke's side this time, as Naruto would arrive being face to face against Sasuke. Damn it, Sasuke! We talked about this before, didn't we? I said I'd help you get as strong as you wanted. It's not like that, Naruto. You don't understand. My brother, Itachi, he was set up to be a sacrificial lamb by our village. You don't understand. If you'll let me talk to you, I'll explain everything. Naruto would be going easy on Sasuke, to be honest, while they fight and talk, with Sasuke talk no jutsu explaining everything to Naruto about Itachi and why everything is going like this. This is when Reanimation, Itachi, and Nagato would show up, with Naruto taking on Itachi and Sasuke taking on Nagato. Itachi would be talking to Sasuke through this fight with Naruto, explaining that he never wanted Sasuke to go against the Leaf Village and simply wanted him to be happy, upon learning that Obito had revealed the secret to Sasuke about his truth and his real mission. Plot happens, and Sasuke and Naruto are back on the same side, at least temporarily, while Sasuke is sorting out his feelings, and eventually Madara would show up again. This time, now with Obito, with the Rinnegan, would get his Rinnegan from Obito and everything, and the Ten Tails would be summoned using Kenjaku and Ginkaku's powers. Basically, Ten Tails is here and incomplete, and now it's time to die. So they start using the Infant Tsukuyomi and fighting everyone, and Neji gets killed, and things get really rough for a while. And eventually, the true fight happens, where we have Jubidara, with Madara absorbing the Ten Tails and the World Tree to fight Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke would be getting beaten, with Sasuke taking the real brunt of it, as Naruto is able to evade most of Madara's attacks. This is when Ninetales starts talking and working with Naruto, saying that they need to beat this guy, saying he's willing to let this brat have his power if he'll work with him. Sasuke gets taken down, with him being almost killed, and Hagoromo now having that discussion with Sasuke while he's waiting for Naruto to get beaten, since he assumes he's going to be. This is when Guy would show up. Might Guy would access the 8 inner gates, opening the 8th gate, giving a fist bump to Naruto and saying, "Let's do this." Naruto would smirk as he activates KCM2 with Kurama's power, who's focusing completely on healing Naruto's body and bringing in nature energy to push Naruto into Sage mode. This gives Naruto access to 100% of One For All. His hair would begin to flow over as it goes over his headband, lightning covering his body as his eyes glow, accessing 100% of One For All. Let's do this. Guy! Lee would be cheering for his sensei and Naruto on the sidelines, as 8th Gate Guy would be declared the strongest by Madara, until Naruto punches him in the face, and then he says, "Never mind, it's him." Madara would be getting beaten to a pulp, with Naruto using nature energy actually able to damage him, and Might Guy just pounding him. Yeah, I know how it sounds. But Madara would be destroyed. Naruto plus 8th Gate's guy with 100% of One For All is just too strong for a Ten Tails Madara. And as such, Madara would be defeated. That is until Black Zetsu takes over and Kaguya awakens. Before Naruto and 8th Gate's guy, who are now exhausted, can be killed, Sasuke would appear with the Rinnegan, saving Naruto, and upon Guy's request, leaving him there to die. As using the 8 Gates, he was already destined to die. Naruto would fall unconscious with Sakura working on healing him, as Kaguya would be incomplete, Sasuke with his Rinnegan now holding off Kaguya while Naruto recovers. Naruto would speak to Hagoromo about the paths of Asura and Indra, learning about the brothers and their rivalry, and eventually how he and Sasuke are their incarnations. Inevitably being given the power of the son of Asura, now finally completing his power and gaining 6 paths, One For All would be completed. He'd wake up having full mastery over all of his power, accessing KCM3 with Sage Mode, and just being in 6 of Sage Pass mode. Naruto and Sasuke would take on Kaguya, with Kakashi finally showing up at the battlefield again after he had been battling Kisame and had been seriously injured back during when Itachi and Sasuke had been fighting. With Sakura's help, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto would take on Kaguya by themselves, successfully sealing her and defeating her in that dimension, and returning back to the real world through Hagoromo's help. Obito would be defeated by Kakashi with Minato showing up, catching both of them as they fall to the ground, as Naruto says that they can still forgive Obito and all that, blah blah blah, talk no jutsu happens. With that, the end of the war would come after Kaguya was defeated, and now it was time for Naruto versus Sasuke. Again, for their ideals, because you can't end Naruto without that. In reality, Naruto would beat him to a pulp. With One For All, he would easily defeat Sasuke, with Naruto's arm not being blown off but Sasuke's being destroyed, and Sasuke giving up on his revenge against the village after he had killed Danzo, telling Naruto that he'll go back with him again, saying there really is no way for him to beat this guy, huh? This time, Sasuke will be the one who Tsunade makes the Hashirama arm for, as he departs on his journey to atone for his sins and also gain more experience out in the real world. Naruto gives Sasuke a fist bump, as the two make off their own ways, Naruto beginning his training to become the Hokage, and Sasuke beginning his journey for atonement. Several years would pass by as we see a blonde, tall man stepping up to the plate, walking up to a railing as he looks down, waving with his hand down to the masses below as people scream out, "Naruto-sama." We look up as we see Naruto Uzumaki with an awesome haircut, not that stupid one he has in Boruto, waving as he puts the Hokage hat on his head, as a new era is rising. A new era for the age of Shinobi, with Naruto rising the ranks to become the 6th Hokage of the Leaf Village. If you guys enjoyed this series for What If Naruto Had One For All, thank you for watching this far, and thank you so much for, hitting that like and subscribe button, because I know you did it, right? Like, if you're already here, you might as well. Do it. Do it right now. Anyway, I had a great time making this. I got a little rushed towards the end, but I mean, honestly, Naruto's war arc is kind of boring and filled with filler, so I'm sorry. I just, it was getting kind of stale, you know what I mean? But anyway, thank you guys for getting this far. If you guys want another full story of one of my older series, because this one is almost 3 years old, so thank you guys for watching it. I know you guys must have been jarred when my voice went from, "Hey guys, it's me," to, "Hey guys, it's me." But whatever. Again, thank you all for making it this far. I will have a Shield Hero coming out soon, being What If Naofumi Was in ReZero, and my next Naruto If will probably be What If Naruto Had Devil Fruits Part 4. But yeah, anyway. With that, let's put a wrap on the story of if Naruto had the power of My Hero Academia's protagonist, One For All. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Ja ne!